Blast ahoy and g'day once again to ye mateys! I be your with it and hip DM, Josh the Pirate, and it brings me more joy than making the Kessel run in under 12 parsecs to welcome you back to Corsair's Cove and my Humblewood world for more of Monsters and Magic. With me, I have my hearty crew, the contemporary Brendan Ellis and the newfangled Daria, surname redacted. So let's talk about these marvellous people, shall we? Daria, who the absolute heck are you?
I'm newfangled, whatever that means. I'm an artist. I do arts. I do like portraits for the characters you see here, and also I play D&D over here and on the Eldritch Scribe Twitch channel on Mondays.
This is true. And Brendan, who the absolute heck are you?
Hello, I'm Brendan Ellis. I'm with it. I'm a contemporary. I'm Darty, as the kids said about 15 years ago. It's good to be here with all you young fellas.
He's yassified as well. I don't know if you know that.
Yes.
And Madame
Can I
and
leave
Monsieur...
now?
And Madame and Monsieur Dharma under Heron and Beings of Indeterminate Gender and Persuasion. I be Josh the Pirate, and you can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, which I run with my lovely lady wife. But you know that, because you've done that already. Good job. Well done. Keep doing it, you bloody champions. Yeah, I'm here for Humblewood on Thursday nights. Karen and I will be back for more Mano a Mano on Monday. And next week we will be having a special guest, not this coming Monday, but the Monday after. We will have a special guest for Mano a Mano. So it'll be Mano a Duo, I guess. And yes, more Tactics Tuesdays as well. And I think that's all I've got going on Twitch space at the moment. But if you like my majestic voice, but you think I could stand to tone the face down a bit, you can check me out in the podcast There Be Dragons, where I play the infamous and deadly pirate Scanfelspar und his little dragon, Rosh. Now, we've got a few other bits and pieces going on. First of all, we need to talk about the amazing chaps over at Wooden Forge. We are affiliated with Wooden Forge. Check out the link, woodenforge.com/Corsair's Cove, to acquire some beautiful handcrafted wooden tabletop accessories made from exotic and Australian hardwoods. This is Jarrah. It's lovely, it's smooth, hardwood, and we love that, don't we, Daria? Hard, wood, yes, smooth, all of those things, and you can check it out.
Why did you single me out?
I don't know.
Yeah, I like hardwood.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brendan likes hardwood more than I do.
I know that, I just wasn't certain about you, whether or not you liked hardwood, so I just thought I'd throw it over to you, but okay.
He's trying to suss you
look,
out.
If you don't want
I see.
hardwood, that's fine. Tony, yes, yeah, Tony emerges blinking into the light. Hey, Tony, good to see you. And more other than that, we have our music today is provided by Sirenscape. That's what's gracing your ear holes, as well as our lovely voices. Brendan, tell me about Ukraine.
Yeah, look, we all know what's happening in the Ukraine at the moment. There's a Russian invasion. It's real bad. We have links in chat for ways to donate. We've been plugging this all year because it's something that means a lot to all of us, so we would appreciate, and furthermore, the Ukrainian people would appreciate anything that you can donate, if you can. Yes, thank you.
Legend, thank you very much. And I must also remind our novel, cutting edge, and possibly even up-to-the-minute audience to please like, follow, and subscribe to all the things, you bloody champions. We have all the exclamation mark socials. We have the YouTube, which is fully up to date. I had a bit of an argument with it over the Dare episode from Monday night with our wonderful Call of Cthulhu two-shot, which is now wrapped up, so if you want to check it out, YouTube is the place to find it. And we have a Discord as well, if you want to come and hang out and chat with us, see our arts. I put the maps that we now use, because we have Above VTT, which is our virtual tabletop that we are using now. So any maps I use there will go up in the creative arts after I've used them. I also am in the process of painting some more Humblewood minis. This is Council Speaker Beta. She's a work in progress at the moment, but I've got the purple cloak on her. She's a pigeon. Well, she's actually a flamingo sort of, not a flamingo, a peacock sort of person. So that's cool and groovy and wonderful. Well, guys, seeing as Brendan told me about Ukraine, Daria, what the heck happened last time for Julio and Ereq?
Oh no. Okay. Well, actually, I was under the impression that it was Brendan's turn, but apparently not. It's fine. I can wing it.
Well, if it is Brendan's, that's fine. Brendan can help.
It's fine.
Would you like me to take the lead?
Let's do a duet. How about
Curious.
that?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we
I'll set you
started
up.
with Yeah.
Okay. Previously on Humblewood, stuff
That's all you
happened
did?
that
Nice.
stuff happened that didn't canonically happen within this session tonight, so we're not going to talk about it.
True.
Go check the VOD. It's very good.
But
Over to you,
before
Daria.
Wow, such contributions. How could I do that without you? Okay. So what we are aware of, besides the fact that Brandon is a little stinker, is that last time we kind of stormed the hideout of the Fifth Alley crew, where we knew our friend was located, and
Riffin, the defender of
that's what I said. Don't make fun of my accent, maybe. And
Sorry.
and that's fine. I forgive you for once. Anyway, we went there. Surprise, surprise, they knew we were coming. We had a fight. There was this guy with magic, and he was like very creepy. I think his name was Guff or something. I don't know.
Fell?
Guff?
Are you referring to
Fell,
Fell?
yes.
No, Guff. Yeah, Guff.
Yeah, famously. Yeah.
Famously, yeah.
We called him after a fart noise.
Okay, so he had weird magic, but we got it. Like, we killed him. Julio like died 15 times, but he can't stay down. Like, you can't knock down that boy with a pail of water.
Nigh invulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Almost.
yeah. Incredibly strong and resilient.
Tough.
And when we got through the goons, we went to see the guy.
Riffin. Yeah.
I got it. I made a dramatic pause. Let me be. And the other guy who was also there was present. And
welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome. Yes. And apparently people know who that is. So all of these guys are very cool and important, but also kind of tired. And Welcome, I know that he's a paladin. That's something I know.
Mm-hmm.
And we came. The way he said makes me question everything I know, but okay.
No, he is. He's a paladin.
He's a paladin.
Okay.
Do you know who he's a paladin of?
Paladini god.
Titan.
He's a paladin of Titan, who is the same god that this cult is claiming to follow.
Yeah.
Okay, I just know from that you wear glasses. Okay, moving on. So we came back to the room.
So do you.
That's beside the point. I'm not a nerd, you see. But we came back to the room, and apparently the guy was like patiently waiting for a dramatic moment to like douse the altar with his blood and summon a thing. I think I actually have a note somewhere on what that thing is.
I said its name a lot as well.
Menzeloth is coming. Menzeloth.
Yes.
Yes, I take notes.
You do.
And that thing like fucked us up, but good. Like the way I think some of us like started to hear voices and such. Maybe that was only one of us. I don't remember.
Bennick definitely did.
Yeah.
Bennick did, yes. But we got it. Like, we killed him. No problem. No sweat. Maybe a little bit of sweat. And at the end, we rifled through the stuff the cult had. We found some supplies. We found some drugs. And I think we found another letter. Is that true?
No.
No.
There was actually a letter to find, but you guys didn't find it.
Damn it. That's my psychic powers acting up. I knew there would be.
We did find a broth.
You did.
We found a broth.
We found a stew.
We found
yeah.
Fluming powder, which is an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I feel like that's where we left off. We wanted to like leave this place, but we were kind of tired.
Yeah.
You know.
You did leave, but we just sort of. It was like a Star Wars style wipe.
We fast-traveled back.
Yeah. I just sort of arbitrarily said, yeah, you guys go back. No, nothing major happens. I think you did try and disguise yourselves a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I would like to add is that Ereq burnt down their massive drug stash.
Yeah.
No one is surprised. Ereq burned something down.
Yeah.
There were a couple of things taken, but yeah.
Yeah. You found some, like a small amount of gold. I think it was about sort of, I I think it was around 70 gold pieces. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was some. And Welcome got his sword back. Welcome was actually a new character in the world as well. The reason people knew him and what you're remembering, Daria, is that he's a character from a different game Dan played, and he was a bought NPC from I'll See You in Hell. So yeah, that's what happened there. But yeah, Welcome has been ported into the world, which is kind of cute. Well, mateys, may demonic voices respect your mind's personal space and all your allies be invincible and unkillable as we head tremulously at first and then with mounting heated passion into the Humblewood. So, Ereq and Julio, you have just returned to your hideout with Riffin, Welcome, Kesh, and Bennick. You're all a bit beat up, some more so than others. Welcome particularly is not looking great. When you return, you find the place a little different than you remembered. The rough-cut walls and ceilings of the tunnels have taken on a smoother, more natural look. And where before there was zero furniture, now smooth organic shapes have grown in the place of chairs and benches. One of the chambers Bennick found in his earlier explorations now contains a half-dozen low benches with concave tops that sort of resemble hammocks. And when Welcome sees them, he goes, oh, yes, please. And he goes to lay down on one.
Yes, you should get some rest.
Yes, I think, it's spongy. As he touches the top. And he's right, the surface has the texture of thick cork. So it is slightly like, it's got a give. It is still tree, it's still wood, but yeah, it's got a bit of a give to it. Further exploration reveals that the former chapel, the window has grown back, only in the same sort of style, that leafy texture across the window, but it contains no other furnishings, that room. Julio, you've brought the half-completed stew back, and we sort of decided that would probably be your first port of call when you got back, would be to finish it. Finish the stew.
Yes.
And Ereq, you stop to provide whatever medical care you can to Welcome. So,
what I will probably do as I see that the place has been furnished is obviously Havel has been back to fix things up. So I'm going to call out for Havel.
Havel is not around.
Hello? Gabby?
The place is currently deserted. And you may make me a nature or arcana check as you begin to tend to Welcome.
They're the same, so let's make it a nature. 15.
15. As you bend to the paladin has been sort of pretty not hugely lucid all the way home. And he is now, like, he's relaxing, he's not in danger of dying, but yeah, he's not well. You begin sort of tending the fairly major wound he got across his chest. As you do so, you touch the bed that he's lying in, and you feel a residue of the magic that you cast to heal this place in that bed.
Great. Do I get the impression that it's still growing?
No, it's probably done.
Are there any... Obviously, we're inside the bark of the tree, but...
you actually would be inside the heart.
The tree itself.
Yeah.
I don't suppose there's, like, any leaves or anything, any blooms that I could use as a binding or anything?
Not really leaves. The floor does have a bit of a mossy texture in here.
Okay, look, I'm not going to wrap his gaping wound with floor moss. So that's fine. I have bandages and stuff, so
Yeah,
I'll use
you
that.
can manufacture something out of what you've got. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You know, however,
Fulcrum-
Eric, that what you did should not have done this.
Yeah. Has Borgrim just zonked out?
He's conscious, but he is lying down has helped a lot. Lying down in a darkened room has been quite nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome. Just focus on getting some rest, and I'll do what I can to close these wounds up.
Thank you.
We'll have a bit of a travel ahead of us, but once we're at our destination, we'll be able to give you all the time that we need to heal up properly.
Couple of square meals in me, and I'll be right as rain.
Well,
Just
it's a
haven't had
good
it.
thing that we've got the best cook in the tree right with us.
Oh, splendid.
Actually, I don't have square dishes, only round ones. Is that okay?
And Julio comes bustling in from the area that was clearly set aside to be a kitchen. Julio, you have found little in the way of like kitchen apparel in there, but there were two sort of raised bits that are pretty flat on the top for benches. Like at about sort of, they would actually be a little uncomfortably high for you, but they would be the right size for most people. And you're a Jobin, you're not unused to working a little above what you would normally do. And in the center of the room it's the one bit that didn't heal from being burnt, and it looks like it's been left that way deliberately. It's this blackened circle that would make an excellent fire pit. It's already
Nice.
burnt, so it won't burn anymore, is the idea. So you put the stew on to boil, and it's probably hasn't been quite long enough for you to actually finish making it yet, but you come in with a round platter, a wooden platter with a loaf of bread on it.
Yeah. And as I come out, I'll turn to Ereq and say, I don't actually know how many like utensils I need. I thought we'd have more people here.
I think that those who do come will be coming either in the night or early morning, and those who are here are probably not going to be here for very long. I can't imagine that we'll be here for much longer than another 12 hours, really.
It's a hideout is the wrong word for it. It's more of a sort of a passage. It's a
Safe
means
house.
to an end. Safe house is a good way of putting it. Yeah. At that, you actually do hear a voice, Eric. I'm not even making you roll for it. It's your passive perception is high enough, I'm pretty sure, to make out Gabby's voice.
Where from?
The only entrance that Havel knows about that is accessible. So the one you guys came back in through.
Just remind us which location was that?
That was from the Canopy Markets, which would also be the closest exit to the Tender Halls.
Right, okay. I just make sure that Welcome's okay and all bandaged.
Hello? Hello?
Yes. Shh. I'll be right back. I need to get Gabby. Tenders are here. And I go.
Take your time. Don't worry. Let me know when that stew's good, young man.
That's me there.
Yes, I go to Gabby. And how do the passages work? I just drilled them open.
No, they are sort of left that way, I suppose, unless you like. unless you closed it, druided that one closed again, which takes some effort. Like, I would say it's really the burning of a spell slot to open and close it at any speed. And I have just put Gabby up on the screen so you guys can see who we're dealing with. This is not hit point press art. This is actually art I created. And I say it was really an artificial intelligence did it with a bunch of keywords, but it's just a fair idea of actually what she looked like. Druided, yeah, that's a verb. And so yeah, that's pretty close to what I imagine Gabby to look like. She is the sort of local artificer of the tenders. Gabrielle is her name, really, but most people do call her Gabby. And she goes, "Oh, hey, Ereq. This place is sure a thing." She has with her
come in.
trio of other tenders. She says, Havel sent us. We were going to shore this place up, but it looks fine to me.
There's definitely more work to do. Come in. And
Okay.
when they come in, I will use a spell slot to close that
Sure.
passage, I think.
I consider it like it's a casting of plant growth, but it's only a first level spell casting of plant growth.
Yeah.
To open and close it, sort of thing.
It's a casting of plant encouragement.
Yeah, exactly. Minor plant growth.
Well, all I've got are second and third level spells, so it's getting a second.
Get a full one then. Yeah. With the second level spell slot, I'll say you can cast it twice with the same spell slot if you like.
Very generous. Okay.
She has three other tenders with her: a pair of hedge and a Vulpin woman, who are as, if not more, like impressed and stunned than you guys. And both the hedge particularly bow very respectfully to you, Ereq, like where there is no sort of real hierarchy within the tenders, but and I don't think before you had, I don't think you were disrespected by the tenders before your adventures, but you are now, you've noticed that all three of these are treating you with a fair amount of, like a minor amount of awe. Like it's that guy. We've heard of Ereq. Tender Ereq is within the order. Wow, that's cool. He found this place. Not surprising. He's cool. Did you hear what he did with the tar? Like that sort of. No, what?
Oh no. How do they know?
These stories take a life of their own, you know. But yeah, you send them on down their way. Basically, they would be looking for.
I explain that they're here to help to get a passage as close to the exit of town as possible.
That's what Havel said. He said there was a chapel of some sort. That would be the closest way to the. Like he said, that was the lowest point, and we should start from there.
Yes, I can take you there.
Thank you.
It's not a chapel to anything that we would care to worship, but that's technically what it is.
You get there, and let's yeah. She would say, Ereq, and she hangs back a little, or sort of the others give you a bit of space, and I think the Gabby's keenness for Ereq is quite well known. And so the other three, even if it's not like, even if it's clearly not reciprocated, it's they are known to be
probably well known too.
Yeah. They are known to be friends at least. So when she drops her voice and leans in a little bit, they actually give you a bit of space. And she says, "Ereq, Havel didn't tell me much. He said there wasn't time. What happened?"
There is... The council has been breached. They have been compromised. They don't have the interests of all the citizens of the Older Heart. They don't care for the humble. And...
What's new?
What's new, I hope, is that they are abducting people, both
What?
humble folk and bird folk.
How does that help the...
We just rescued Riffin.
Is he okay?
He's fine. There was another, a paladin, Walkram, there as well. So we've gotten them out, but they were both Strig. You know,
Wow.
they're not against taking out people who they think are in their way. So
They were
that's
abducted.
what we're doing.
Okay. So what's the plan? Havel really didn't have time to give me much information. Like, we're helping you guys get out without being seen? Is that the point?
Not just us. Everyone that we can get out, including yourself and the tenders, if you'll come with us. Havel
Where?
has already said yes, but we just need to get out of...
Where are we going?
I look her in the eyes. Do I know her family name?
Yes, you would. Josh does not know it.
No. Okay. Is there any alarm that I get from, like, is it a well-known family? Is it, does it have any connection to mine?
Not a well-known family. No connection to yours. In fact, she is... it's like new blood. They are not... She was born in the wood, but her at least one of her parents wasn't.
Okay.
Presumably her father, because her name is not a traditional humble folk style, or not a traditional Humblewood name.
Gabrielle's surname redacted, I understand.
Well, it's I'm just sort of putting it together. It would be Ereq's daughter.
That sounds a bit like Eric's daughter.
It does.
No, Ereq's daughter. You named for
Gotcha.
your mother.
Yeah. Okay.
If you know your mother, then you're named for them.
We're like sauce. Illegitimate kid of Eric.
Sorry, in which case, let's say Astrid's daughter.
Okay.
To
I thought we were
alleviate
getting
any
into like some
confusion.
time travel stuff.
No. Yeah, that's why she's been so keen. She actually wants to get to know her mum. Yeah, later on you don't find out this until much later, but yeah. It's a gender reveal. Everybody flips at least once in this show.
I'm not going to roll an insight check. I trust her. We're taking everyone to the crest.
The fortress in the mountains?
Yeah. I should tell you, we just got back earlier today from this elemental hunt, except the elemental hadn't arrived yet by the time that we got there. The cultists who had been set to ambush us hadn't gotten around to summoning it yet. So we dispatched them, and then we infiltrated a prison camp where they did summon this elemental to try and kill us all. So we're still kind of processing that, but they're not above mind controlling or attempting to indoctrinate people to join their cause. So it's kind of hard to know who to trust right now.
Yeah, and She goes, this is a lot to take in. I'm more than happy to go to the crest. I think my mum and dad live up there. And you might actually know that her folks used to live in a town called Crestmarch, and where a bunch of foreign settlers settled, like 20 years ago. And Bishop Blood, you are correct. Yes, Silver. Yeah. Silver was Silver Connorsdottir. But yeah, same neck of the woods, literally. Canonically, the inhabitants of Crestmarch were evacuated to the crest when the town was destroyed by fire elementals, and Ereq was one of the guys who went in and finished the job of killing off the remaining fire elementals at Crestmarch. So you've been to where she is from. It just wasn't looking great the last time you were there. But
was that where we went season 1?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was they were trying to reconsecrate the shrine or desecrate the shrine and Javier cast a cloud of water on it to put the fire out. Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Smoke Boy. Cool. Exactly. Well, good memory, Bishop Blood. Yeah. So yes, she says, look, I'll happily come and anything I can do. So who else is going? You're with Cash, right? Is she going to take the brigade?
Yeah, that's the plan. But that's her own thing that she's got to try to deal with. Do you know Nils Wintervale? He's the current commander of the brigade in this.
She nods, like most people with any ear to the pulse will probably have heard of him, but it's like knowing the local sheriff, like
sure.
And there's been a few changes of leadership in that in recently, yeah, she's like, look, I've heard of him, but I don't know him. I wouldn't say I've never met him.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Wintervale's interesting family. Just
yeah,
like mine.
I've heard of them. Like famous. His dad's really rich, I think.
Yes, he is.
Actually, you know they fund us, right?
That doesn't surprise me.
Got to take the money when you can get it, you know?
I mean, I already know that my grandmother has a direct line to Havel, so why not all the noble birdfolk houses?
Oh, it's not like that though. It's like philanthropy, right? Right? Like we couldn't do what we do without the contributions from the rich.
Yes, yep, that's true. But do you believe that the tenders should be pushing an anti-Humblefolk agenda?
Oh, no. I'm just saying.
Because that's what their sponsorship may be trying to buy.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
Look, in other news, I have something for you. Obviously we don't have time to work on it right now, but I have the eye, in fact we have both eyes, of a steam elemental. So maybe when we get to the crest we can set you up with a workshop and we can make something special of them.
Oh, Ereq, you always get the girls the nicest presents.
Yes.
And she's gotten the message about the whole, friends, yes, nothing else, and has backed off a little bit. So this isn't a come on. This is just she's being playful.
Yeah.
And she says, and by this point you get to the temple, the chapel, and find it not deserted actually. Riffin, Kesh, and Bennick are having a chat, and they seem to be just wrapping up their chat in it. When you guys get in there. Oh, no, lad, it's fine, it's fine. I think we're just about done. Oh, you got some tenders. That's handy. The place is empty of furniture, however. And unlike any of the other rooms, like most of the other spaces in here, there has been some force, and it wasn't you, decided what to put where. And nothing in here has been grown, other than the window, which has been grown back to the way it was. And
any iconography at all?
Nope. In fact, well, did you guys see this place before? I don't think so, did you?
We've been...
But like before
here...
it was burnt, pre-burning?
Yep.
Okay.
We saw it when we came in with forks.
Okay, then there would have been a couple of carved sigils of the not Titan sigil, the off-brand Titan sigil, carved into the wall. Both of those are gone to the point that you wouldn't ever know that they were there.
I'm just going to place my hand on the wall around about where they were.
To what end? I think I know, but I just want to confirm.
Just to have a little bit of talent to wood contact with the older tree, with the older heart.
Religion check, please.
Okay.
And Gabrielle sort of watches you go over and doesn't really say anything. I might put the dice roller back up.
12.
12. You get a subtle, but definitely there, feeling of approval. And welcoming.
Great. I'm not. Ereq isn't going to say anything, but he's going to look around, and he has plans for this room.
Yeah. And Gabby is sort of just watching you with a soft smile on her beak, and sort of shakes her head and says, "Right, okay. So this is the lowest point." And we're also in the bark, so this is like perfect, I think. And she directs the other three, and the four of them together sort of form up into a formation and slowly begin. They held their hands out in front of them and slowly begin basically just walking towards the wall. And as they do, the wall basically just sort of forms a passageway out of the bark leading down, and so they sort of cant their way down, and Gabby gives the occasional instruction, sort of coordinating their efforts, but obviously it requires quite a bit of focus, and it's tender tree craft. It's a specific skill that tenders take a while to master, and you've never really given it a huge amount of effort before. It's not really your area.
It seems like it's kind of more of an artifice-y thing.
Yeah.
As they start, or just before they start, I'll say there's a chance that we'll have a lot of traffic through here, so if you can leave enough room for, imagine, 2 servants standing shoulder to shoulder, that should be plenty.
They are going at it 2 by 2, so it's at least 2 bird folk side by side, so yeah. And she gives you a 1 thumb up, but her mind is very much focused. Cool. And, what do you do? And I'm just going to jump back quickly to Julio. Is Julio doing anything, saying anything, being anything? Or
seeing that more people show up, he'll definitely try to scrounge up more food and more utensils for everyone to eat up.
Most people have their own... it's not an unusual thing to carry an eating knife and a bowl with you. Like most people, particularly travelers, you all would have your own utensils. Welcome and Riffin probably do too. For that.
There's an inventory thing in D&D. What's it called?
Didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. So
I just consider that everybody has that.
True. Yeah. Anyway, while Julio does that, he'd want to
Mess kit. Thank you, Bishop Blood. Mess kit.
Yes, mess kit. That's exactly what it was. That's what we were thinking. So Julio would not like trying to pry or whatever, but he would like from time to time he'd look like try to gauge the situation with the two ex-prisoners to see how they're doing. Like obviously they're tired and stuff, but he just wants to like check if there's anything weird with them.
The kitchen is across the hall from the sort of sleeping area, so you can every now and again just sort of stick your head around. And Ereq did say, hey, would you mind keeping an eye on him? And Welcome, after the third or fourth sort of check-in, Welcome seems to have gotten a little bit of colour back into his feathers, and he's sort of like leaning up against the wall now. He's still very much sort of mostly lying down supine, but he is still... and when you stick your head around, he says, that smells good. Haven't smelled anything that good in a while, actually. This is going to be very welcome.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be delicious. What were they feeding you back in the jail?
Pretty thin stuff. I mean, I believe you took that from it, weren't you? Well, what you took was basically what we were going to get. They'd fed us about 2 hours before, so I imagine it was probably that. And it was like
that's sad.
Soup, but like with not much in the way in it. It's just really just sort of meat flavored water, like a broth, really.
And how long were you there?
I don't know exactly. It's hard to keep track of days when you can't see the sun, but Riffin seemed to think at least 3 weeks. On essentially bread and water. Don't recommend it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's horrible. I don't mind to I don't want to pry, but I'm thinking back about this Fell guy, right? He was quite scary. Have you seen him there before this fight?
Yes. Oh, yes. They tried to when they they took me, and a little while later they took Riffin. And both of us fairly, Riffin is far more well known than I am, but both sort of quite reasonably powerful warrior soldier thing, and they seem to want us to join up. And I'll be honest, I think they thought we would as well. They genuinely seem to think that we would be up for it. And the process is, they really just gave us a meeting with the thing that they work for. Just gave us a face-to-face with it, as it were. And they said, don't worry, Titon will be here. He'll tell you everything. And I've not spoken directly with my Lord and Savior Titon my own self, but I know enough of him to know that which I met was not him. They popped us in a room and lit a few candles. There was a vial of blood, which first red flag. Well, actually, the abduction was the first red flag, but the second red flag was a large quantity of blood. Titon, not known for that. That's not really a Titon thing, I'll be honest. Unless I've been doing it wrong all this time, and frankly, if I have, I don't want to be doing it right. And yes, then this large shadowy creature arrived, and I was like, I'll give it that, that visually it hit all the right notes. But then it started talking. And the things it said were repugnant. It was saying it should, making points about how the humble folk should be subservient, that they should be grateful for everything they get, and how Great Father Night wants the bird folk to rule.
I see.
And I told it to sod off, I'll be honest. And then when it did not immediately oblige me, I got angry. And we paladins, there's a thing we can do where we channel the energy of our faith, essentially, into a blow. And I didn't have a weapon on me, but it doesn't stop me. You can sort of wrap it around your fist if you really, really want to, and I really, really wanted to, and I smoked the thing. And it didn't like that at all. Now, a real god ought to be able to take a punch, right? Particularly a punch empowered by the faith of its own chosen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't buy in. Which was a bit silly of me, really. Come to think of it, I probably should have said, oh yes, absolutely, very good. How can I help? Send me off, ideally alone. I'll go and do what you want. Yes. But back to your question, Fell was there. Fell was very excited about the whole thing. He was extremely keen for me. He seemed extremely excited for me to meet this being. To, in his words, let Titan into my heart, as if that was necessary.
It seems to me there's like one thing that I don't understand. Like if
Only
they
one.
want, well, I'm pretty smart, but what I'm saying is like they called it Menzeloth, right? Does that mean that they kind of?
My understanding is Menzeloth and Titan are different beings, working in concert.
Ah. So what we fought today, that's not what you smoked with a big punch.
I don't believe so, no.
I see.
My
And how did it look?
my senses are not well attuned. Weren't really. I wasn't. To be honest, I wasn't thinking hugely straight. But I'd never actually met this Menzeloth creature before, and it had a different vibe, for lack of a better word, about it than the deity that I was introduced to before. I've never met an Amaranthine my own self, but the creature I met, it wasn't Titan, but it might have been a deity.
What makes you say that?
I don't know how many extra Palinar entities you've met, but a lot of them, particularly the powerful ones, give off an aura. And I, as a paladin, I'm rather attuned to it. And I was looking, I was there, and they told me I was going to meet Titan, and I was at least interested in what the being had to say one way or the other. And so I all senses blazing, as it were, and yes, it was definitely something very powerful. No bones about that, but that doesn't narrow the field down anywhere as much as I'd like.
I see.
Possibly not a god, but maybe an Astorial or something like that. Powerful fiend. Riffin asked me if I thought it might be a shadow elemental.
Wait, hold on. We fought a lot of elementals, like in a bunch of places. Is that something? A shadow elemental?
Yes. Normally you find them in the plane of death, or where the plane of death meets the other elemental planes, there would be a shadow realm. So you shadow a shadow version of a water elemental, for example, or a fire elemental. There would be a shadowy form of the same. It's sort of an inverse, a negative, if that makes any sense at all.
I see.
I don't think so, though. In regards to what, but here's the thing: the Menzeloth thing that we fought today. That maybe. I didn't get a good look at it before I got smacked. But that maybe.
Question out of character. Suddenly, I forgot. What happened to the body of the Menzeloth when we were done?
It disappeared. It dissipated. And the body it grew out of wasn't there anymore.
I see.
Sort of wisped away.
Like a shadow would?
Or a smoke. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I clarify? Did Fell's body seem to transform into it?
Yes.
Or
Yeah. I believe you searched Fell's body before you went and found Welcome and Riffin. It was a quick search, but you did. He went and got some blood from the altar that you didn't find on him and drank that, which turned him into the thing. It's also worthy to note that the other two last week, Bennick received word from the Beast of the Books, Mordain, the librarian at the Avium, Mordain Swiftgale, that Menzeloth is an Astorial.
And an Astorial is
An angel, essentially.
So Menzeloth actually like works for this, not tied on. We
Would
just need
be
to figure out.
Would be a fair assumption, yes. But
do
that
we
has
know that? Have we
currently no. You haven't caught up with that that particular event yet. That is this evening. He has this conversation before he has his long rest. And Julio, there is a chat that so he receives this information and information on a cure for his looking like a woman thing. He goes to Ereq and asks Ereq for some gentleman's wort, which is one of the drugs that Ereq got a pouch of. He takes it, it works, but he does get very high. And Julio sits with him while he's high at one point in the evening. So there's a chatette to have there, but we'll do that next week. Dissipating haze, don't you just hate those? Yeah. Yes, you will receive that information relatively soon.
Okay. Well, Julio feels like he like troubled that guy long enough, so he'll give him the tasty stew.
Yeah.
And as when Ereq is done with his peeps, he will just like unload information from what's his name? I forgot again. Welcome. Yeah. So that cool. Ereq knows as well.
Ereq is aware of that now. Kesh informs you guys, sort of comes back and says, well, I don't know what you guys are going to do, but Bennick and I are going to have a rest. Ereq, if you could let me into the basement of the Wildwood Brigade later, so I can begin rallying the troops up there. But yeah, most of we're going to see Niels first thing in the morning, I think. I don't know. You guys might be better off going at night, though, for your mission.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe if we get an early night's sleep, we'll stay here, do a little bit of prep, maybe with the tenders, getting that path going, and then have a rest, and then get started, and hopefully be back before you've even left.
Yeah, hope so. And then the four of us can go together to see Beta. As long as you haven't caused too much problems at the council chambers.
Yes, that's something we'll need to be careful of.
Yeah. Well, Hale, might be useful if you do a bit of a scout before we go.
We'll add it to the list.
Hey, Chaotic Goblin, good to see you. Cool. All right.
Are you're getting to sleep now?
I was going to have a bit of a not a sleep, but a rest, certainly.
All right. Well, if we don't get a chance to talk later, then best of luck, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Well, you too, Ereq. Ereq, you go up, open the way through to the Wildwood Brigade so you can have a rest without interrupting yourself. And unless there is anything else you guys want to do, Julio, at some point in the evening, you talk to Bennick. But you have a long rest. We shuffle through to probably about 3 a.m. Would take you to about that time. And how would you approach this is, I suppose, the question.
Is at this time of night, is there any activity in the safe house at the moment? Are the tenders still going, or
The tenders finished about by the time the tenders would have knocked off about a little after midnight. Not because they were done, but because they were tired. It's a big job. They probably got about halfway down, and it'll definitely be done by sort of midday tomorrow. They're just going to have a breather. They're having some of Julio's stew. Everybody has commented on how excellent it is. In fact, Gabby says, "Wow, if you're looking for a job after this, I could definitely convince Havel to employ you at the tenders. We need a good cook.
I'll keep that in mind if I die during this.
But okay, great."
don't ask?
Okay.
Something that I do, something else that I want to do in the night, is to do a little bit of redecorating in the chapel.
Oh.
And I will see what. This is probably during the evening at some point. I'll see what Julio is doing. Whether Julio, this is probably before we go to sleep.
Yep.
Babysitting Benek, probably, right?
Definitely for some part of it, but that could happen in the chapel if you wanted. I actually kind of had it in my head that he was sitting next to the window in the chapel when he was high.
Okay.
Okay.
That was in my head canon. That's where he was sitting, like looking at the view, and just going.
Well, look, maybe it would be appropriate, maybe not. But I'll tell you what I want to do, and then
Sure.
you can tell me who's there and where everyone is.
Sure.
I want to turn this chapel, not that many people will see it after tomorrow, but I want to turn this chapel into a shrine of worship for the Older Heart itself.
Ooh.
Interesting.
It's like a Gaia movement. Cool.
Like rather than like carving symbology, if anything, I would like to like grow symbols out to have them be coming out rather than carved in.
Sure. This would be
I don't know
Druid
if there's a symbol. Yeah. I don't know if there's a symbol for the Older Heart or.
There is in so Humblewood, written bird folk is like chicken scratch. It's very angular. It's like straight lines, but it's pretty much just English, but with straight lines to make all the curves. But they. They spell things. They don't use pictograms or anything like that. However, written Servan doesn't have writing exactly. It works not hieroglyphs exactly, but that sort of style of thing. And a lot of it is symbols. And you would be the symbol, the Servan symbol for the Older Heart, which is not unlike an Yggdrasil. A sort of a circular form of a stylized tree. It almost looks like it could be the same upside down. It's got the roots spread out beneath it and this massive spread of branches above. But in a circle, so it's almost a complete sphere, and there's very little.
I getcha.
Yeah.
I've played God of War. I get it.
I haven't, but yes.
I know, yes. But yes, yeah. Okay, great. I do an Yggdrasil.
Cool.
And if there's any foliage that I kind of have on my person or that I can kind of gather easily, I will make a shrine of foliage and things.
As you
I do
grow
have
that
one
out?
more casting of plant growth, which could potentially be used for
Definitely. If you're using your remaining casting of plant growth, then definitely you can definitely do this. And Julio is welcome to help give creative suggestions if you like. The way I see this in my head is that Ereq comes in, sees you guys hanging out, but he's got his own thing that he's doing. And it's like that the friendship has reached that level where you can be alone together, if that makes sense. Like you can hang out, but don't actually need to be talking while you do it. It's like married couples get to. Karen and I do it a lot, and yeah. So he comes in and you goes like hi, but that's about it. But if once you see what he is doing, which I in a moment will get Brendan to describe, sort of if he wants to paint the scene, I'm imagining the room is about 70 feet long and about 40 feet wide. You are at one end, which is slightly curved with the outside edge of the tree, and in the bark of the tree there is this 10-foot high green leaf window with it's veins of leaf green, so the light isn't coming through it now. It's semi-transparent, so you can see through it but not clearly, like a shower screen. And oh god, how good would that be for a shower screen? That'd be lovely.
A giant leaf,
yeah. It'd be great for the tree too. And you're sitting with Bennick chatting, and I didn't feel comfortable RPing that conversation as Julio. So I was like, I'm going to leave that to Daria.
Can I suggest that towards at the end of that conversation, maybe Bennick either takes himself to bed or Julio kind of escorts him to bed and then rejoins?
Sure, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So there is a conversation that I want to have with Julio, but I'll describe kind of what I'm thinking of making this, and then Julio can give suggestions as well.
So these guys are at the window, and I'm imagining Ereq went up the other end of the room, which is like 60 feet away. So you can be a decent distance away. The conversation might not even be audible to you. But yeah, towards the end of it, Julio takes Bennick to bed, and comes back down smelling a little bit like weed. Although
I probably do too after having burnt half the stuff.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, the contact high. You weren't long enough for the high. Yeah, hot box.
So I want to green this up. I want to make leafy, bushy couches. I want there to be leafy drapes, maybe mossy.
Yeah.
I want there to be seating of all kinds, suitable for all kinds of folk. I want smaller seats with tail holes. I want perches of various sizes. I want little nests, both for bird folk and for humble folk to kind of curl into.
Yeah.
I want to make this an inclusive place of being able to just commune with the older heart itself.
Yeah.
And to be nestled into it and to be protected by it.
Julio, would you assist? How, if so?
I think I don't think Julio would assist. No, I think Julio would see that Ereq is doing magic, and because Julio is very new to magic, he would start off by like thinking like, maybe I can like learn something here, and tries to like figure out what movements Ereq is doing, etc. But I feel like with the scope and the like intensity of magic, I'm pretty sure like by the middle of this activity, Julio would be, I guess, embarrassed and humbled by his audacity at trying to understand what's going on, and he will just try to like not take too much attention, and he will just like look around the things that Ereq is creating around.
Ereq will notice this and actively invite. What do you think? I mean, you tell me. What kind of seat would you find to be most comfortable? Let's have a few of those. You tell me.
Okay. Like.
And maybe a snack bar. Tell me what we would need for like a snack table.
Oh, a snack bar. Okay. And Julio will describe like an ideal snack bar with like levels and stuff.
The snack bar comes into being, and it's actually several different kinds of fruit tree branch comes out, and then like a couple of berry bushes grow from the one corner of the room.
Maybe some nuts as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I see this a little bit like Julio and Ereq doing Tai Chi. And Julio, particularly initially, copying the motions and then sort of... so can I get both of you to roll me? Your choice between Arcana, Nature, or Insight. Insight not for Ereq. It would have to... Julio can roll Insight.
Arcana, Insight, or Nature?
Yes.
I'll
Are
go with
these
Nature.
separate, or can I help Julio?
These are very much... It's sort of a group roll.
Okay.
Okay, let's try.
I'll go
Go
Nature.
+1. Me too. Oh, it's actually dirty 20. Damn.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Okay, that's...
If Julio's going Nature, I'll go Arcana, which is the same.
Okay.
I actually rolled better than Ereq. What the fuck?
I actually prefer if you go Nature, because it kind of makes more sense. Hey, Nelderberry, good to see you, buddy. How are you? We are just fixing up that chapel that Smoothie burned down, and doing a sodding good job of it. The two of you fall into an almost hypnotic rhythm. And Julio, Ereq, you felt this feeling before. But Julio, this is probably your first time feeling it. You can feel very distantly a pulse. It is the heartblood of the tree. And your activities, you are distinctly aware that your activities please the tree. You feel at home and belonging. You are welcome here forever. The pair of you are.
I feel like that's the closest to a religious experience Julio has ever had in his life.
Yeah. Julio, when you eventually move your paws, you find your footprints are in the moss, as in where you'd both been standing, and Ereq as well, your claw prints too. They are left bare in the moss that now covers the floor, a soft, cushiony carpet of moss. Julio, from now on, you may once a day cast Druidcraft.
Damn. Okay. I feel like with the force of what's going on, Julio would just start crying. You know, you just like see fat Turbine tears just plopping down into the moss, and he'd look around and say, I just don't get it. Why did they hurt the tree? It's so beautiful.
They don't care about the tree, all they care about is themselves. And that's why we've got to stop them.
Yes, we will.
We will.
You're not crying, I'm crying. What?
Hey, bust out real tears, bitch.
Yeah. Well, Daria, you have inspiration. That was very good.
Thank you.
And Ereq, because I gave her a present, you can have one too. You get a free casting of plant growth once a day as well.
Wow. I mean, I'll take that, but also, funnily enough, I actually don't have access to Druidcraft.
Oh,
What?
in which case you
Let's
learn
be drunk
you
and
learn
bogus.
you learn druidcraft as well then,
Great, thank you.
instead of your plant growth. Yeah,
Yes,
I'll give
that's
you
fair.
both. I'll give you both a bit of druidcraft.
Amazing, thank you. After we, I mean, not to ruin that semi-religious experience, but after we have
I
kind
would
of
say
gotten
you
into the
almost
rhythm of this,
collapse at the end of it. You almost fall asleep doing it, as in making the chapel.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well, maybe right at that point, while we're just kind of at the edge of exhaustion, I'll say, I mean, I don't know if we're collapsed into each other or not, but close at the very least. But I will look over and say, Julio, I was never upset at you, you know, about Arthur not coming back. It really surprised me that he left. I kind of thought that he might be around forever.
Yeah.
I loved him. He is one of the only people in my life who's ever tried to protect me. He saw my violent side and my darkness, and he tried to do everything he could to stop me from going down that path. And no one else has. And then he left. So, I hope that he was right about the kind of person that I can be, and I hope to be able to show you that person, because I don't know if you've seen him yet.
Julio will take Eric's claws and say, that love you feel is true, and it's not gone because he has a different path now. I feel like the things he saw and the things that he cherished in you, they don't change just because he's not there to witness them. We're here to witness them, and most importantly, you are. You can be scary, true, but I mean, look at what you did here. You do wonderful things.
We did wonderful things.
Yeah, we did. I'm very tired.
Good night.
And seated in a chair that is perfectly made for a corvum, and another chair with a little tail hole that's a little bit raised up and canted backwards, I think, slightly as well, like a
Yep.
lazy boy. Julio and Ereq, side by side, fall asleep looking at their creation. And
That was so good.
yeah. I'm gonna say, Nelderberry, thank you very much for the gifted sub, you bloody champion. A good reward as well. Daria got a lot of presents for that piece of RP, but it was very solid work from both of you. Brendan, it was a beautiful idea. Tell you what, you could both have inspiration. You're gonna need it for the next bit. So we might have a short break, because that's a lovely point to take one, and we'll be back in a little minute for a breaking and entering scene with these two sweet little boys. We'll be right back, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I also really enjoy about our break screen. It's kind of fun for me. There are the two groups. It's Kesh and Benek on one side and Julio and Ereq on the other side. It was not
True.
intentional. It's been that way for a while. So we're going to go away from here now, guys. We'll see you in five minutes or so. Bye-bye, everybody. Blast and ahoy, mateys. We be back for more Humblewood. And these two lovely individuals are going back into the have had a short rest, and they are now going to try and sneak
Hold
in.
on, long rest?
Oh, sorry, a long rest.
Yeah.
It was a short break while you had a long rest. And you are now going to sneak in to the council chambers. Into Larimars' office is your secret mission to steal the money that she owes you. Basically, how do you plan on doing that? You know that so the council building, the main council building, is a 3-story affair above ground, though the main administration of the wood goes on in the basement, where the bureaucrats dwell. On the main floor is
bureaucrats.
Yeah, bureaucrats. They're all ducks.
Nice. I love it.
Arthur is from a family of bureaucrats. Bureaucrats. I apologize. I said it weird. I was like, nah, no one will pick me up. Oh wait, no, Daria's here. On the main floor is the Grand Council Chamber. It's an impressive vaulted room capable of containing over 500 people to witness council proceedings, and that's sort of it's sort of a civic duty to watch these people do their jobs. They actually, it is a constitutional right of any citizen of the Wood that they are allowed access to the main council chamber at all times. Anyone can go in there whenever the hell they want. It's the point of the place. It's not exercised super often. And it's not for like homeless vagabonds or whatever. They'll be moved along. But anybody, particularly when the council is in session, people cannot be barred from entry. However, that's the main body of the building. It's got colonnades and pillars out the front. It's very, sort of Roman style a little bit, or even Greek. Sort of ancient Greek style columns and things, but to the side of this building is 3 floors of offices, and you are aware, because you've been there, that Larimar's office is on the 2nd floor of that block. It is not external either. It is an internal room, so there is no window to it, though there are several windows on each floor. You can enter through the council chamber, and when you went there the last time you did, there is, on the ground floor is it's a bunch of administrative officers, lower level functionaries, assistants to the council, and a couple of meeting rooms on the ground floor. There is also a guard and a sort of a clerk at a desk that basically control the passage of people through there. So if you have business being there, you need to either talk your way through it or distract your way through it or have a legit reason to be there to get past that desk. However, that's sort of the information you possess about this building so far.
Do we know, is that desk attended at night?
You probably wouldn't know. Neither of you have probably ever been in there at night, but it would be a fair guess that the place would certainly be at least patrolled. You've definitely seen Perch Guard in there during the daytime. It's like Marine guards at an embassy. It's a ceremonial position for a group of. I think they take it in turns, but yeah, there would be there is a guard there at all times. Would be a fair assumption. It is the seat of government.
Question.
Yes.
We are looking for the Larimar's office, right? That's our main goal. Larimar's office. Do we know if there's a specific window to the Larimar's office from
Unfortunately, it is internal to the building, so you could certainly get onto the floor it's on through a window. The other point is that it is in the upper branches of the canopy of the tree. However, it is not in the very, very top of the tree. This is a very vertical city, and there is branches above it. Though there is quite a bit of air above, before, like clear space above, the tree has been encouraged to give it a bit of air above the place to make it look important. But a couple of 100 feet above it, there would be branches that you could access to come down if you wanted to enter through the roof, say. So, yeah.
Mission Impossible style.
Yeah. Well, one of you can fly.
No, Jervin on the rope, baby.
I'm enjoying it because I've
like
got
a
like
skin-tight leather.
yeah.
Of course,
Yeah,
always.
it's Ereq flies down with Julio strapped to his stomach, but like by
Yeah.
a long rope. So the camera would first see Julio coming down, the wind whistling past his face. Then it would follow
Yep.
the rope up, and it's attached around Eric's middle as he flies down.
And you know that scene in Mission Impossible was like
Yeah.
a drop of sweat is
Yeah.
falling off the face of
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, but instead of the drop of sweat, it's one of the boob fruits
It's a
that
melon.
he's trying to catch. Yeah.
Why are you back in outfit?
Just cuz. Come on.
I like it. Shut up.
In our preparation, I would like to now tell me if I can or not. So I want to cast divination, channeling the older heart itself.
Uh-huh.
As a part of the components of this spell, I need to have 25 gold worth of an offering. I'm wondering if the older heart will allow me to skirt that requirement this time.
Given what
because
you
of
just
recent
did
events.
for it, yes.
Yeah.
This one time, yeah.
Right. Which, I want to be clear, is not why I went about orchestrating
No, I
that
know.
whole scene, was to get
Sure.
our 25 gold.
Still stingy.
You guys just picked up 70, but sure, yeah. From those guys
So-
you murdered in the
Yeah,
roots, but yeah.
After we wake up, I might wake up a little bit early and just commune a little bit. I want... Do you want me to read the spell?
Please do. I'm not very familiar with divination.
Yeah.
I feel
know
like
you
it's
hate
you
these
roll.
kinds of spells.
Yeah, is it a wheel and woe thing?
No, this is
Okay, good.
more... This is a better answer than that.
Oh, okay, great.
So, you ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days.
Right.
The GM offers a truthful reply, but it might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen.
Right.
It doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, such as the casting of additional spells or the loss or gain of a companion.
Right. Very well.
So the question I have is, what is the best way for us to take money from the House of the Council? And I'm casting that as a ritual, so it doesn't cast me a spell slot. Lamau got him.
Yeah.
Shall we, in the meantime, discuss our strategy together?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can think about that.
The tree would... It doesn't communicate in words.
Yeah.
It's too powerful for that. You would see a window on the outside of the council chamber on the second floor.
What's the window made of?
It is glass,
Okay.
but it does look like it would open, like it
Right.
like a up and down.
Right. So, Julio, we should figure out our plan of attack. The older heart has contributed. It wants to help, so it's pointed out a window on the second floor, which is probably our best way of getting in and out.
Okay.
Now, the question I have for you is, do we want to... I mean, this is probably a silly question, but do we want to try to go in without being seen at all, or do we want to try to act like we belong there?
Well, how would we do the second one? Aren't you, like, very well known? And I'm a humble folk?
Yes, but I can turn invisible, I can turn into something very small, and I could hide in your melons.
That's what you're always after, huh? Okay, I see.
I can't get the tail, so...
Yeah, changing the target. I see. No, well, then it's all kind of comes down to if they think I belong here, right?
I think the best thing would be if we try to remain unseen altogether.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see what you wanted to do.
Also, I'm good at being sneaky, so I think that's the better way. And if we are caught, then we can try and talk our way out of it. Like maybe, well, this is a revision, a sudden sneak revision of your money. We'll workshop it on the spot.
Yeah, we can be tax collectors.
Exactly, we're collecting your taxes from the government. Listen, it's high time we started taking taxes from the government, not the other way around, okay?
Yeah, eat the rich.
Don't say that in front of Beneco, please.
Oh, yeah. So, you're not very good at seeing in the dark, are you, Julio?
Not really, no.
Okay,
I'm good at doing other things in the dark.
You know, I really
Cooking.
feel like we should remain as colleagues. I don't know.
I meant being sneaky. What did you think?
I have Hope out. I get Hope out, and I touch her eyes, and there's little embers on my fingertips. Be careful now. Close your eyes for a moment. And I touch my fingertips to Julio's eyes.
And they're warm.
You can open them now.
Your eyes feel warm, but not
Oh, that's
hot.
weird. That's weird.
The sensation fades, but the seeing does not.
I try to see through walls.
Are you okay? Do you have a headache?
Julio, I'm going to
Yeah.
let that unnatural 20 on nature as well, which is hilarious, carry over. You can still see you see very briefly the almost like the fluid within the tree, like it's not a blood network, but like the way that the tree transports nutrients around itself. You can almost see that pumping just for a brief moment within the walls, and it is very alive in this room because you're still in the chapel because you haven't said you've gone anywhere. It's very vigorous. It's very, yes, it's brimming over with life. But then that fades.
Wow. Okay,
Trippy.
so I can see now.
Yeah, you can see better than me, but I feel like you're probably the one who's going to be getting up close and personal with things.
Oh, what about you?
Well, like I said, you're probably going to be closer to the front doing things, and I'll be supporting you from behind. If I need to, then I can turn into something nocturnal.
Okay. And we're going through the window.
Yes. So, we never talked about the fact that you, blew up some gangsters? And that was cool.
I mean, yeah, I can do it again. I can do it right now if you want.
No, I really don't want that. after we just made the place all pretty.
True.
But what? Can you do anything else? Can you do anything that would help you to get into a second-story window?
I don't know. I can suddenly do druidcraft. I don't know if that's something.
Not really. It's like
Not
druid
really,
Make some
prestidigitation.
vines.
Julio
Yeah,
can
maybe.
jump 15 feet in the air.
I can jump so high. Listen, I'm very good to all this magic business. So I'm very new to it. So I'm not good yet. I feel like I'm very limited to things I can do. Okay.
If
I have
only
one
there was a way
thing.
that we could talk at long distances. That would be really helpful.
That would be, but like, look at you, such a cool druid, and still can't do that. Must be not like very important to learn.
That's so true.
Ereq, if you want to
Yeah.
change out druidcraft for message, no.
No, I have a question actually. So I have silvery barbs, right? And it's not for like how we would usually use it.
No.
So Ereq is asking, can I help myself? I can't give myself inspiration because that's not something I can do as a first level bard. But the silvery barbs has one thing where like it's a reaction. I give someone else disadvantage, and I can give another creature, including myself, advantage on a roll until like the next minute. Is that something I can implement if we need to like help me there?
Is it normally in an attack sort of situation, or is it just a sort of a reaction to something?
Yes, it's a reaction to someone doing a d20 roll.
Right. Okay. Then yes, you can impose disadvantage on somebody and give somebody else advantage in that situation. If, for example, a guard spotted you, you could give them disadvantage to maybe not spot you and give yourself advantage on hiding, for example. I would allow silvery barbs in that instance, yes.
Okay. Then yes, Ereq, I think I have one thing that might be pretty good, but that will be kind of like improvisational stuff. I'm not good at planning beforehand.
Okay. Well, I can make you better at anything you want, really, but one thing. So I was thinking I could make you better with your hands. So better at climbing, better at picking locks, that kind of stuff. Feels like that would probably be pretty useful.
Yeah, that's true. If we suddenly get spotted and we have to talk our way out, can you change that to me being very good with words? Or is it locked in as soon as you
but I can, just like we did at the prison camp, I can cast it on both of us. So I could make you the hands and me the mouth.
That sounds kinky.
Yeah,
Please,
thought
we've
it
discussed
too.
this.
Yeah.
So I know you're a very horny person. You're the horniest
Yes.
member of this party.
So
but
thirsty boy.
we need to really calm it down.
Slander! I just slapped my desk so hard that my ears before like.
Xylem myfolum. Monocle drops from eye.
Yeah. I feel like I'm being misrepresented, but okay, we have you to talk.
I mean, in a
way
party
out.
of very unhorny people,
Yeah.
you are
Unhorny?
at least an 8.
With you in there, I find
I would say an
hard to believe.
8.1. Round about an 8.1.
They don't even know why that's funny.
It's really just for me and Brendan.
Probably an
Yeah.
8.2.
And not
Yeah.
for me. Fuck you. Okay, well, I feel like we have a plan. Go and be good.
I don't think you do, but okay. All right. So you're going to go in through this window. How are you going to get
Yep.
to the window? We don't know. We're just going to make that up when we get there.
We have a
do you
flying
have-
Ereq.
Well, I'm not the best
Can't
flyer,
fly
but I
up,
can give it a shot.
but he can glide down.
Yes. Am I aware of any higher vantage points close to the building?
Mother of Bunny's comment from heartwarming to horny in 30 minutes flat.
Yep.
Yep. Yes, definitely. In fact, the closest building to the the closest building to the council chambers is the Grand Temple, which pretty much anybody's allowed in and whenever, and has a similar vibe, though significantly more sort of Catholic inspired, sort of proper Roman Catholic inspired, to the room you just created. But like, imagine that crossed with true Roman Catholic. That's sort of the vibe of the Grand Temple. Though praise to the older heart itself is not really done, but it's not saying that you can't. I'm just saying it's an unusual take. So yeah, and it's a temple. As long as service isn't going on, anybody's allowed in. There is the catacombs beneath, which are sort of, you need an escort to go down there, but if you want to wander around the upper levels of the temple, no one's going to stop you. So you could, I mean, it's a bit of a glide, but you definitely could get yourself high enough that you could launch off from there. The window is not open, but you could get to it, and yeah, that would probably do.
Ereq, if you're worried about gliding and it being tough, I can help you out a little bit with an encouraging word or two.
Oh, that would be great. I mean, we do have another way of getting around. I scratch Hope's head. Hope, I mean, it's not quiet, but Hope could teleport us in. That's
a
probably
15-foot range,
exit.
right?
Yes.
The window would be, it'd be a bit of a stretch to get you 15 feet up from the ground.
We can certainly get out that way. At least one of us could. But Hope could probably just fly up and open the window for me, and then I could glide more or less straight through, and then lower a rope for you.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
Great.
Not a bad plan.
Let's do that then.
You do that. So the space between the two buildings is a plaza, about 200 feet wide, and in fact, Ereq, I would say, given that the fall to travel ratio of the glide is actually 1-to-1, so you'd need to be 200 feet up to get the distance. You'd actually have to go to branches well above the temple, but you can do that without any great difficulty. And Julio, you probably have to separate for about 10 minutes. You're waiting near the council chambers. You see this dark, shadowy shape fly down from above. It's something you can inherently do. Ereq, you've only said that it's only your own flavor that means you're bad at it. But I will have a very low DC athletics check, or acrobatics, I think might be better for you.
So before we
they're the
separate,
same.
I would give him a D6, one of my two inspirations.
Bardic inspirations. Yep, they last 10 minutes,
just
right?
in case. Yep.
Yeah. This would be.
Do I need to choose to use that before I roll?
No. You can do it after you see the result, but before I tell you.
Okay. I mean, I don't know what else I'll use it for, but I will.
I'd
I
save it.
will. I'll use it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'll save it.
Okay.
I get a 15. Yeah.
Sure. I tell you what, the place you might want to use it is Hope, because Hope would have come down a little bit before, so that the window is open for you.
Yes.
In fact, Hope may have gone with. Would you say Hope would go with Julio? And Julio says, "You all right? That window there." And so Hope would flutter up, and needs to make. It's not something a bird is designed to open. So a strength check from Hope to open the window.
I wanted to see what her stats are, but well, look, that's a natural 19.
Okay, yeah. Hope,
Yeah.
Hope's like puffs out her little chest a little bit and flutters up. It's about 20-25 feet up. Julio, you reckon with a hop, spring, and a jump you might make it, but probably not without rope. And so, Julio, you are loitering outside the council building. The Grand Plaza is never empty, but it is pretty empty at this time of night. There is, I mean, this is 3:30 in the morning. This is the witching hour. It is very, very late. And whilst Humblewood would be said to be Alderheart would be said to be the Humblewood city that never sleeps, it does get drowsy though. And yeah, so this part of it, the administrative center closes down at night. And yeah, so there's not a lot of people about. Your travel around, I would like a stealth check from you just to be inconspicuous.
Okay. Do I have advantage already or not yet?
Not yet. Oh no, I don't know. Did Ereq give it to you?
We didn't say that we did, but
you did discuss doing it.
I was not sure when.
I was happy to. I would be happy to let you do it just before you separated.
Right before we split.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm casting Cat's Grace on you. So yeah, you can have advantage on Dex checks, and it might be relevant. You don't take damage from falling 20 feet or less.
Nice. Cool. Well, that would be this distance. So 26 for your stealth.
I'm also going to cast it on myself with a 3rd level spell slot so that I have Eagle Splendor.
Charisma.
Which is advantage on Charisma.
Love it. Cool. Yeah, Julio, you move as Shadow. And you are awaiting Ereq at the bottom of the... underneath the window. Hope flutters up a mere 20 seconds before Ereq swoops in. And you're like, come on, you can do it. And the bird does, with much aplomb, just sort of grabs the window ledge with its beak and just yanks up as Ereq flies through. Ereq, it requires a little bit of finesse because you fly into a room that is not particularly large. And you have a fair amount of momentum from your path of travel. And I will pop the map up. Let's just a second. That one there. Boop. And that is not where you guys are. We need to reveal this room, which is where you have entered. And then I need to move you boys over. Well, Julio's not in there just yet, but Ereq is. Ereq, you make me a dex save, please, Ereq.
Sure. Just also want to let you know that I'm not seeing what you're showing.
No, I am just about to move you to it.
Right.
There we go. Now you should be seeing it. There we are. That is where you guys are. So, you have
saving throw?
A dex save, please. Yes.
19.
A 19. Very well. Ereq,
Nice.
Yeah. As you flutter in through the window, you have to sort of veer upwards very suddenly because there is a couch sort of looms out of the darkness in front of you, and at the very last minute you manage to sort of glide in, swoop around the room a little bit, and gain your feet in a very well-appointed room. It has several bookshelves. It is several small tables with spindly legs and sort of ornaments. There are several large portraits on the walls. A couple of them you even recognize. One of them is your grandmother. No,
Of course.
sorry, I apologize. Your great-grandmother. I don't believe Iari Shadowmalt was a previous speaker of the council, but her mother was. So yes, you come to a stop, look up, and see the shadowy face of your great-grandmother looking down at you. Yeah, and probably there's a mild, like,
There's a physical reaction to that.
Yeah. I don't think you'd have been in this office before, but looking around, yeah, there's some notables on the walls. It is clearly somebody's office, but it is really nicely appointed.
I mean, do I recognize any of the other portraits?
They're all council members, you would guess. You recognize two of them, and they're all... None of them are sitting council members.
Are they both speakers?
No. One is just another former council member that you knew of, you'd heard of, but not current.
Okay. That one's bird folk too, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There has not been a humble folk on the council.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Not surprising, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to take a breath and calm myself and go through my pack and find a rope. And I'm not going to stick my head out or anything, but I'm just going to
Rope
slowly
just fly out.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So Ereq, you drop a rope down to Julio, and Julio, I'm not even going to make you roll for it with the dexterity, with your dex bonus. Julio, yeah, you plomp up as well. Now, there are no lights in here, so it is very dimly lit. However, Julio can see just fine. It's a really nice office. It's very fancy, quite luxurious. The decor is very unified. The couches look very fluffy, plush, and comfortable. But this is not the office you came for. The fireplace is not lit, and yeah.
So this is the office of the speaker.
You
I
don't
think it
know
probably
that,
is.
but
Because of the portraits, right?
meta, yes, but
I mean, that's what Ereq is suspecting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Julio, I can't see so well. By the way, I am whispering. I won't whisper for the sake of stream.
Sure.
Kesh did ask us to scout out the speaker's office a bit, so assuming this is it, maybe just take a peek around to see entry points, exit points. I mean, obviously we have one.
Got it.
Like a voice.
Got it,
I'm in.
Captain.
Yeah. Yeah. An investigation check, and Ereq, you can make one with disadvantage if you like.
Yep. But you're on the tail end of inspiration if you feel like you can use it.
That's true.
You know.
You are coming
That's
up
a
close
great
to
point.
running out of bardic inspiration, but yes,
Yeah, I'll do
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
might as well.
Because I sucked.
12. Yeah.
Rip.
Come on, Ereq.
Hey,
Come on. Smarts.
Oof.
but with a D6.
With a D6, you can almost equal.
We suck.
Wow. There's just not. You have a quick rifle through. I imagine you are trying to be discreet, so not leave any passage of your trace of your passing. It's also worthy to note, Ereq, that hope is does shed dim light. Do they not?
Probably. I mean, that would make sense.
It would be like at the very least a candle. So I would say if you were using it in search, I don't know what you got for your other roll. A 14.
The other one was a
would make
15.
Yeah, it would be a 16 actually. It was a 14 and a 3. So you plus 3. I'll give you that because I think if you're taking a little minute and you've got hope on your shoulder illuminating what you're looking at, I don't think disadvantage is actually fair.
Josh is such a generous DM.
I know. I've played with
giving
those.
god.
I just think logically, I don't see any reason why that
makes
wouldn't be
sense
the
to
case.
me.
So yeah, I think between that and Julio's bardic inspiration, you two have a quick ruffle through. It's not hard to determine this is Beta's office, but Beta has a very clean office. There doesn't seem to be an awful lot left lying around. Looking over her collection of books, she seems to be a very worldly, widely read person, very worldly, a broad selection of interests. There is a lot of books on Humblewood lore in there, particularly. Very little.
As in legal or history?
Legal.
Yeah.
There is, though, quite a bit about history as well. Treaties and texts, and there is a framed copy of the Humblewood Constitution, the original, the original founding document sort of thing that is on one wall, above the mantelpiece, actually.
With how sparse... Oh, sorry, is there more?
No, basically not a lot is the answer. If you are wanting to determine whether or not she is trustworthy from the stuff in her office, there is no massive giveaways, you know?
No, so I've got a couple of things that have come up today, but
Sure.
by how sparse her office is, does it seem like it is like ready for a quick move?
Okay, I see. No.
Yeah. Okay.
It seems she is just a very neat person. It does not have the vibe of I'm packed and ready to go, or that she is living in a constant state of being packed and ready to go. This is her home. She's just very tidy.
Yeah.
If she has records, like she has a desk, you can have a look through the drawers, but she doesn't keep a lot of paperwork in it.
What I'm more interested in, rather than paperwork, is whether there seem to be any like silent alarms or anything, any secret passageways or non-obvious entrances or exits.
Make me a second investigation check for that. Silent alarm, if Julio wants to look for the passageways, you could look for the silent alarms, because that would you be looking for a physical thing or a magical thing?
I would look for a physical thing.
Okay. In which case, both investigation checks. This one, however, I'm going to say hope wouldn't be as useful to you for light.
Yeah. So you want that with disadvantage?
That one with disadvantage, yeah.
Yeah, because it was already an 8. So I'll do another one.
Don't forget that we have inspiration as well, if you ever want to use it.
That is true.
Not on this.
Same.
That was a natural 20. So,
rough.
8.
And Julio's 7.
Yeah, we are not great.
Yeah. So looking for alarms, do not find any. Looking for secret tunnels, do not find any.
Secret tunnel.
Sadly, no. But that could be because there isn't any. Could be.
The one other thing I want to do, it's concentration though, so I'm not going to do it. I was going to do detect magic, but I can't. So I
Sure. I will allow a pulse of it that doesn't ruin your concentration on the other, but it doesn't maintain.
I don't care about it for here.
Okay.
I might take you up on that offer in another room.
We have Larimar to check out.
Exactly. There is a door. It is locked, but it has been locked from the... Well, it hasn't been locked from the inside, but the inside has it's a bolt. that from the outside you can turn with a key, and on the inside you can just turn with a little knob. So yeah, you can unlock the door. However, would you just go out into the hallway?
No.
All right then. What would you do? You are breaking and entering.
Yeah, as an experienced thief, Julio knows that, like, in places with moneyed people, there are guards probably. So we need to, like, Julio would want to listen, and not for like, oh, it's quiet, let's go, but he would spend a few minutes trying to understand if there's any patrol and finding time where this patrol is like the furthest away.
Right. So yeah, Julio, make me a perception check, listening for that while Ereq continues searching.
I'm gonna use my inspiration on this because I don't want us to get caught this early.
Valid.
And with my rolls, I think I'll need it. Okay, 16.
16. Yeah. There is 2 guards in the corridor outside. They are both moving in what sounds like armor, which you know to be a fairly standard uniform for the Perch Guard. The patrol's route that they follow doesn't seem to have a huge amount of distance in it. They probably are patrolling this floor, which, as you've been on this floor before, you've been here, you know it's really just one long, slightly snaky corridor. You would have, at best, 15 seconds of not being seen to get from this door to the door to Larimar's office, which you don't know for certain where it is from where you are, but you would know it as soon as you go out into the corridor. You'd be able to guess where you are. But it can't be very far away. You are pretty sure it's on this side of the building, like the rear end of the building, which is where you are at the moment.
Yeah. As I try to like time it correctly, I gesture to Ereq like, we have to be very quick, and I'm gonna use my second bardic inspiration on Ereq just in case.
Okay, sure. So I will get stealth checks from both of you for this, as the guards. As one of them gets to one end of the corridor and turns around, and the other gets to the other end of the corridor. And you
I want to ask quickly, does my hardihood allow me to cast invisibility without holding concentration?
It would track that, yes, I think so. I think the hood is what concentrates on it.
Right.
It would still break if you do anything, like if you take an action. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay, great. I'm already pretty stealthy as is, so I'm not going to use it right now. But I wanted to know.
Sure.
Okay.
So how did we do?
21.
21 and a 23. I am going to roll perception checks for the 2 guards.
Bullshit.
I've got an 11 and a 14. Plus nothing. So, yeah, I would have had to do quite well to beat you, to be honest, with a plus nothing. But yes, you make it out. As you enter into the corridor, you can see, you know where you are. Julio, both of you have been in this corridor before. Ereq and Julio, it is the door directly south of you. You ought to be able to control your tokens as well on the map. I've just been moving them. So, yeah. Julio, you have 12 seconds. 2 rounds.
Yeah, this is the door, right?
Yeah, that is the door. It is locked. I presume you close the other door behind you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I leave that to Ereq because I need to get on that door.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be the last one out, and I would
Tail and
close
Charlie
that behind me.
Okay. Is Hope out?
And so, I have to activate her? No, she's not.
Okay.
Yeah. I activated her to get us into the window, but no, she's gone.
Yeah, because she emits light is the question, and the
Yeah.
corridor
Yes.
is
Yeah.
not brightly lit,
They
but
would
it
see
is.
the flash.
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
the corridor is oddly lit by a light purple glow from a plant pot stand near you.
Do I know
Julio,
what that is?
You can certainly make you can have a look and see if you can recognize it. A nature check.
22.
It is geraniums, which is odd because geraniums don't glow.
Yeah.
Julio, you are picking a lock, so sleight of hand me.
Yeah. I don't care about the plans. I have 12 seconds. I need to succeed in this.
Yeah.
I'm going to be lookout. I'm ready to cast spells if any guards see us.
Okay. Yeah, Ereq, this is a geranium that has presumably had something cast on it to make it do that. But it's not unattractive. It's quite a pretty plant. And a 22 is enough, Julio, to, thank goodness, with a +7, to bust your way into the office of Larimar, which I will now clear.
And we close quietly the door behind us.
And yes.
Yeah.
One last stealth check from one of you, I don't mind which. Probably Julio. As Ereq sort of
I'll
dashes.
take that one.
Ereq dashes in through the door, and Julio quickly shuts
Oh, thank
the
God
door.
for advantage.
Woof. 26. Yes, the door closes with naught but a whisper, and as it does, you are plunged into darkness. Both of you.
Like magic darkness, then.
Well, you can no longer see Julio.
Ereq, did your spell fizzle out? I can't see anything.
I cast Produce Flame and have a flame in my hand to look.
There is none. You can feel it there, but you can't see it.
Nope, this is magical.
Can you deal with it? Can you make it go away?
Yes, I can. I'm going to cast Dispel Magic.
You do that,
Nice.
and the darkness fades. When you cast it, does all magic in the area go, or just the one you mean?
Yeah, one creature, object, or magical effect within range.
Right, good.
So
That's probably for the best.
darkness.
Yeah. You dispel the darkness, and a very good band from the early noughties goes away. Don't know if Daria knows of them. I think they're
I
Aussies.
know.
Okay, cool. Yes, you are in Larimar's office. It is.
Isn't that the group that said I believe in the
thing called love.
love and whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew things.
No, I believe in love.
the things. Yeah.
Listen, I'm tired. Okay.
I believe in a
was
thing
up
called
since
love.
7 a.m. today.
Fair.
Just listen to the
Yeah, that one. In fact, one of the episodes of Humblewood has been named after one of their songs.
Nice.
There was a frog made of rocks with some ice, which was in the latter half of season 2, or season 3, I think. Is in reference to "Love on the Rocks with No Ice," which is a darkness song.
Nice.
So yeah, you are now in Larimar's office. Congratulations. There does not appear to be any other doors in here, despite there being one on the map. But you can't see it. However, there is. It's relatively spartan. There are a couple of bookshelves, but each bookshelf's only actually like 2 shelves, and they are. Yeah, they don't appear to be very full. There's like maybe 50 books in the room total. The carpet is a lovely, rich, deep purple. What you can see in there is a couple of pot plants in the corners, but otherwise it's pretty sparse. There's not much on the walls. It does not have the feel of something that is lived in. Would be the thing I'd say. Though that's not a sort of a definitive thing without a check, but it's like Yeah, you're possibly just that's who she is. That's just she doesn't collect stuff very much.
Well, okay. This is a
building.
Hey, Jack.
I was just going to ask: is the building made out of the tree? Is it carved into it or anything? Or
No. It's built on it. It is very much built on it. Yeah, it is made of wood, but yes.
Maybe I'm forgetting something, but we know the other Larimars office, right, in the warehouse. Yes, that was Larimar office as well, right?
That is what we
I think it might have been shared.
Yeah. But that one was like lived in.
It was definitely used quite thoroughly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Similar
and
level
this-
of not keeping like stuff in it though, and there wasn't much in the way of personal possessions in that one either. This has a similar, if anything, this one actually has a similar vibe to it, in terms of nothing of major note, like nothing of a major personal note is kept here. But if you want to do an investigation, you are here looking for something specific.
Julio, let's look through drawers and cabinets and stuff, but maybe you're the best person to check for if there's any traps or alarms.
I'll try.
I mean, it's worth noting that a magic spell activated when you entered the room.
Did we know that?
You
Like-
closed the door, you were in, you could see because there was a light source outside the door. So when you were in the room and there was light coming in through the door, not a lot, but a bit, then you closed the door and the lights went out. It was...
Oh, right.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we know that there's some magical traps in here, at least the one that we already triggered. Hey, DM, if that office is still open, can I do a little quick sonar?
Detect magic?
Detect magic?
Yes. Yeah, a quick pulse of it.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
I
so,
do that.
Yeah. You sort of close your eyes, and you're still burning the spell slot, of course, but
Yes.
You send out that pulse. There is a mild magical thing going on in the corridor outside, but you knew that, or at least you guessed that. There is also a fair whack of magic in the middle of the wall, or about 20 feet above you, about 20 feet. Yeah, through past the wall, in that you are standing next to currently because you haven't moved your tokens. So yeah, about 20 feet to your left, there is a fair old whack of not very nice magic. You can tell that it gives you. I'm actually not going to give you any detail on it because it's just a pulse, so you're just sensing magic around you.
Can you, if we're assuming that the top of this map is north, can you give me a cardinal direction where
North.
that's coming from, please?
Basically north of you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is also some, like, it's not active, but there is magical residue south of you. Well beyond the wall into another room beneath. But it's not active magic, and you don't sense any other... I suppose the key point is you don't sense any other magic active in this room, or any sort of, anything passive magic in here either.
Gotcha. Just while we're talking about magic real quick, I just remembered, Bennick did have his conversation with the base of the books.
Yep.
Did he pass on the fact that the AVM is compromised?
I feel like he might have. I am
Because
uncertain.
we were talking about it as an option earlier.
Yeah, I think he would have. I will say yes.
Yeah.
Probably
case that
in
becomes
passing,
relevant.
like at around about the same time he mentioned Menzeloth, and that Menzeloth is an old Astorial who used to worship Kren, the Vulpin Amaranthine.
Oh.
That would explain...
What are they? What are the Amaranthine
Canine
of?
looks.
They are for cleric domains, trickery, night, tempest.
Okay, 2 of them check out.
Yeah.
I think those are the main 3. Yeah. Grave.
Because didn't the
as
guy?
well. Grave domain.
Didn't the guy say like this could be an Amaranthine, but maybe not that one? So, you know.
Yeah. Cool. So, Julio, make me an investigation check while Ereq is doing his pulse.
Pulse. Oh, I don't like when Ereq is pulsing. I put my
Throbbing.
Nah, we don't need to go in the detail.
Is that too much now?
Well, yeah, it's too much. All right, now 23.
All right now. Yeah. So, Julio, you find like everything. Congratulations. So, you go to Larimar's desk, and sort of, I like to imagine Julio sits himself comfortably down in Larimar's chair. It's quite comfy. And Ereq, when you open your eyes again, you see Julio sitting behind Larimar's desk, making themselves at home, actually doing a little bit of pretending, ooh, I'm a council speaker. Then goes down to the right-hand bottom drawer, where Larimar put the gold away when they showed you that, it was like, you'll get this money when you kill the thing. Puts the money away. In there is 3 bags of gold. Including the one that she showed you, which is the largest. There are 2 smaller bags of gold.
Yoiking.
It totals 700 gold pieces. It is heavy. If Julio was to carry this alone, he would be encumbered.
Julio's not carrying it. Yeah. Well, we can split in 2, so it's not heavy, but we'll figure it out later.
There is...
Erek's kind of buff.
Yeah. There is no incriminating documents in this room. However, an investigation of 15 will find deployment orders for a company of Perch Guard to a refugee camp south of Alderheart. A roll of 17. And for another company to a reasonably deserted bit of forest north of the city. That would be in your way if you were traveling to the crest.
Oh.
A 17 will also find a confirmation letter from Nils Wintervale confirming that they received orders and his intentions to obey them in the way he intends to obey them, to deploy part of the brigade alongside that formation, as in the second one, to the north of Alderheart, mentioning specific squads from 2nd Company.
So the bitch
Do we
is involved.
know what that means?
I don't think either of you know anybody involved in the Wildwood Brigade. Cash probably hasn't gone into the detail of how she runs her job.
Yeah, but we had the impression that the guy could be like a pawn, like he doesn't know shit, but apparently he does know shit.
Well, he has received orders from the council and he seems to be obeying them. That doesn't mean he knows shit necessarily.
True. But wait, okay, maybe I misunderstand something. Does Wildwood Brigade obey the council? I thought they have the perch for that.
The Perch Guard also obeys the council. They're both different arms of the military that work for the people as represented by the democratically elected council.
So it wouldn't be weird for him to get orders from the council.
No, Larimar is the Secretary of Defense sort of thing. If a member of the council were to write up and issue the orders, it would be Larimar. It's probably why she's doing it. It may well be how she got the job. But yeah, so her communicating directly with Nils Wintervale isn't unusual in and of itself. The orders to send, well, a company of soldiers is well over 150 men, and they are sending 150 perch guard plus, by the sound of it, about half a company, so about 70 men from the Wildwood Brigade to a random spot in the middle of the woods, nowhere near anybody, halfway between the Crest Fortress and here.
Crest is where like we sent all our peeps to.
Yeah.
And these orders are way after that, so they won't like intercept the people we sent.
No.
They would only for us. Like 100 men plus something for us four. I mean, that's pretty cool.
The dating on the orders to the Perch Guard, that order has yet to be sent. It looks like it's in the out tray, ready to go. Nils, however, has already received his orders and has said that he is intending to obey them by sending his troops, and the day he is intending to send them is tomorrow.
Okay.
Under command of Captain Shen Esticle.
Okay.
I know what you're thinking.
Funny
I know
story.
what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. And you know why I know
watched
what
the
you're thinking?
VOD. I know all
You
of
know
that,
why. I
Mr.
don't know who. I
Esticle.
don't know if Daria knows. So Shen Esticle is a bought NPC.
Okay, that makes sense.
From Chaotic
The
Goblin.
the full name that he requested was
Is
Shenanigans Testicle.
Captain Shenanigans Testicle.
I love it. I love it.
So I had to make him quite an important person in the Perch Guard to make the name work. I was allowed to shorten it to Shenesticle. So I shortened it to Captain Shen Esticle. Captain Shen Esticle is a fellow Jobin who looks
with
like
that name, of course.
with a red squirrel appearance.
Nice.
In fact,
Okay, well-
because it's fun, I will very quickly put up a picture of Captain Esticle.
Does he have like huge furry balls?
That's a Chiniki.
Nuts, obviously.
Nuts.
There he is. That's Shen Esticle. And he's a bit of a smooth operator, I gotta say. Like Shen Esticle, he doesn't nobody like he's eating nuts here. Yeah, that's Shen.
Hey, he's not in here.
He's not in here.
He's not
Exactly.
here. No. Listen, this guy, if he's sent to fight us, he's gonna eat so many nuts. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, talk to Kesh about Shen. Cool.
Okay, so we know that the Perch Guard are already sent out. Oh, no,
Right.
the other way around. The Perch Guard are not sent out yet. The order is waiting. The Nils people are already sent out.
They haven't left, but they have. Nils is planning to send them.
Okay.
Tomorrow.
So
you
it's
would
like
be
in
aware
a-
that Kesh has already made contact with her senior commanders as well. Like that's happened while you guys were asleep.
Okay. And this spot in the woods is within a day's travel. That means.
It's about a day and a half. Yeah.
Okay.
And it is awkwardly in your way to get where you are going. Well, crack my nuts and call me Shenesticle.
That's after the session.
Exactly, Bishop Blood. Only if you ask nicely. The other thing you would find, Julio, with a 23, as you look up from your, like, this took you probably 5-10 minutes of rifling through. I feel like you're being
And probably laughing at the name as well.
less careful of not being detected in here. Would that be fair to say?
We're yoinking already. Like, they will know that we took shit.
Are you going to take the orders that haven't been issued yet?
Yes, I think
Do
so.
you bring me over and get me to have a look?
Yes. Because I feel like that's evidence for us.
Yeah. Yes, let's take these orders, and I don't know if I have a map on me or not, but I'm gonna take notes of these locations as well, separately, so that we know these two spots to look out for.
I mean, they're gonna know you were here when they find the gold missing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they know they're gonna know someone was here, not necessarily you.
Yeah.
The other thing you do find, and I'm actually going to say it was Ereq that finds it, but I'm using Julio's role. Because while Julio was doing this, Ereq was checking out the wall and finds a well-concealed door in the wall. You were looking for it because you knew there was magic beyond it. And
I didn't get a chance to RP it, but I would have said there's something shady on the other side of this wall.
And so, yeah, after Julio has found that, you are going to take the letter from Nils and take the orders that have yet to be issued.
And one other thing that I want to do, after we've taken anything else in here, let's have a bit of a fondle around in the drawers. No good. Was it one drawer that we took this from, or a bunch of drawers?
The orders were actually in an out tray on the desk, not a drawer per se. The confirmation response from Nils was in a drawer.
The same drawer as the money? Different drawer?
No. The money drawer is the money drawer.
Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. I don't know. Tell me if I can do this with Druidcraft. This is all made of wood, presumably.
Yep.
I want to use Druidcraft to fuse the drawer shut so that rather than her opening the drawer and saying, oh, there's no money in here, she can't open the drawer, so it's not as obvious that she's been robbed blind.
Yeah. I suppose you can do it. It will be not
what
obvious,
if I
but
burn
it will
a
be
spell slot to do it as well.
Empower the Druidcraft with a spell. Yeah, all right.
I
Then
can
yes.
assist you.
Yeah, the two of you working together with the expenditure of a first level spell slot. Yeah, you can basically convince the wood to fuse so that her desk now has this cube of empty air in it that that cannot now be accessed. Yeah, you are. Oh, you are so good at working with the wood, the pair of you. It is not immediately obvious. Good job, well done. Do you want to check out the other room?
Now, Julio, I've been thinking. We've gotten what we came for, but we're in the heart of, maybe not the heart, but we're in an operating office of the enemy. Let's do what we can to destabilize them. Let's rob them blind.
Yeah, let's do it. But I will say one thing. I don't know much about magic, but I feel like if we triggered one magical trap, there might be more, and there might be people, knowing that we're here. So we need to be probably quick.
Yes, it's certainly, and there's definitely another magical trap of some kind on the other side of this wall.
Alrighty. So you go over to it. It's not locked, but it is very well concealed. So I would like the pair of you can make investigations, or one of you can help the other to figure out how to open it.
What's your investigation?
It is +2.
Mine is +4. Maybe you can give me
Yeah, I'll help you.
advantage. Yeah. Let's try it. Please, good rolls. 11.
Yeah, it's not immediately obvious how to open this. Oh, I know exactly. Yeah. There doesn't appear to be a catch or a thing on the wall or anywhere near the door that would allow it to open.
Sorry, Ereq, I just can't figure it out.
Ereq,
Okay.
you can make a nature check.
And do I still have the second inspiration?
Well, has it been 10 minutes since we stepped into the corridor?
The
How
bardic
much time?
inspiration or your
Yeah.
or
Bardic.
That is there. Ooh, 20. Okay. Ereq, it's wood grain is the trick. And the wood, the wall, the whole room is paneled. The floor is carved with a simple but quite elegant pattern. But in the wood grain, you can your sense, you can tell that there is something running through the wood grain that is slightly different. It's like, I tell you what it is. One plank of wood all the way along is a different kind of wood. And it leads
this is
from the door to the desk. And it does not continue beyond the desk to the other side of the room. It's well concealed. It's basically it's oak and a different kind of hard wood, very similar to oak. It's been well done, but you can tell that it was definitely installed at a different time and done out of a slightly different wood.
Mm-hmm. Do I have a latch? Can I find a latch, or does it seem to be?
Roll me an investigation
desk?
On the desk. Yeah, it's definitely leading to the desk.
And has it been 10 minutes since we left into the corridor?
Oh no, it's coming up on it. Coming up on it.
Great. I use my bardic inspiration to boost
Bump that
H
to a 14. Okay. Yeah. It's in the you extending your nature sense a little bit more. You realize that it's the latch is in the drawer you sealed.
That's it. I had a feeling.
With an 11, I'm like, oh, I know exactly where it is.
That's a gamer moment right there.
Yeah.
But the application of a pair of Druidcraft rolls, and yeah, you can open the drawer briefly, click it, the thing pops just a little bit, and then sealing it again.
Well,
you're an idiot.
I mean, what I would try to do is Druidcraft
a different
on
hole
the bottom of the drawer, and get it to grow a branch upwards on the other side and
okay.
group it.
Click it that way. All right, yeah. Make me a. How's your animal handling?
How's your animal handling?
It's a +4.
Okay, use that. Because this is basically.
What are you handling?
It's a tree animal, tree handling essentially.
10.
Yeah.
This is so stupid.
No, all right. Then animal handling was not the way to go about it. Do a nature check instead. You hear something bonk against the inside of the desk. You're like, that was dumb. 14. And then you hear a click. So if she does ever manage to get this out, there's two small bushes growing out. It's like, someone planted my money.
Yeah, this is the bush burglars right there. They leave a trail of bushes.
The bushy burglars.
Fucking druids. Bloody tree huggers. Yeah, and the door clicks. And just, opens slightly enough that you could get your fingers in and pull it open.
Okay. Would you like me to go first? Yes. Julio, I'm going to go first because there's something magical in there, and I have the means to get rid of it.
Okay, well, do we see inside? Is it dark again?
Opening the door, I presume you don't enter yet, but if you open the door,
correct.
You have a look in. It is not pitch dark, but it's dark. In fact, there is a window at the far end that you can see moonlight out of. So there's enough to navigate by. In fact, here, let me describe it for you. I wrote it down. The room is dark, illuminated by a window at the far end and something which looks a little like a shrine to one side. It gives off a sickly yellow light. The walls are panelled in dark wood, and much of the decor has a baroque feel to it. Everything else as much as you can see it, basically. 'Cause this is basically. It's, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a tree handling, essentially. 'Cause this is basically. It's a, well, it's a
Does that shrine seem to be the place that...
It's definitely in the right
bad
place for that
juju.
juju. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go in first. I'm gonna pull my hidey hood up and turn invisible in case it makes a difference.
Okay. You do that.
And I'm going to go through the door, keeping an eye on this shrine and examining that.
Very well. You do that. Julio, what do you do? Julio, Ereq is not... Well, it's hard to say because Ereq is invisible, but Ereq is not immediately attacked or assaulted in any way. Nothing visibly seems to happen.
Yeah. Well, one thing before I go into the room, the door behind us. Did you lock it?
Oh, the door to the hallway? No.
Yeah.
But you can.
I would want to lock it
Yeah.
because we're not in this room. We can't control like if someone is coming in. So
Very well.
I'm gonna lock it and
Latch.
then go in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. There's also a window in here, so you do actually have a means of egress. Yeah. Cool. You can. Okay. And you enter as well. Ereq, you go over to that shrine and have a look, one presumes?
I try to keep my distance.
No? Okay. What are you doing then?
I'm seeing as much as I can from as far away as I can.
Of the
If
shrine.
I can't see of the shrine, then I'll get closer. But
It
I'm
is-
expecting something bad.
It is not dissimilar, though a little bit more upmarket than the one you encountered in the Undercommons yesterday. Up to and including a square, shallow tray filled with a dark substance. Vaguely viscous
same one.
fluid.
Yeah.
Hard to say, but probably. As you see this, can I get you both to make me wisdom checks, saves, please?
Oh, not again. Not again. Wisdom save.
Yes.
I suck at those. No, I don't.
Ooh,
Never mind.
Julio.
I want to use inspiration. Can I use my inspiration?
You can use your inspiration.
Yeah, great.
Good idea.
I'm going to make that again because the original was an 11. And that one's a 10.
10. Okay, so
With my plus 4.
both of you feel a chill run across your body, like up your back, and in your ears, like over behind your back, you feel a presence. I don't know where Ereq is in relation to Julio, but it is like on the opposite side of you to where the other person in the room to be. Although Julio doesn't really know exactly where Ereq is, but yeah, you feel something behind you, and you hear whispered in your ear, "Menzeloth is the man beside you." And as you turn to look at your companion, or look for your companion, you see a shadowy form step away from them. A shadowy form that looks not unlike them. In fact, it looks exactly like them, but it's partially see-through. So Ereq turns and sees two Julios, one slightly paler and more translucent than the other. Julio, you don't see shit except another Ereq steps out from behind this non-existent. In fact, you see a vague outline of Ereq as this being steps out away from it, and Ereq sort of occludes it, if you will. But as it steps away, they sort of smile at you. This shadowy Ereq smiles at you, Julio, and Ereq rather. This shadowy Julio grins slightly. It's not a nice grin. Ereq, you currently have to make a con save every time you cast a spell, and if you are concentrating on a spell, you need to make a con save to maintain that concentration during combat. Which begins now, I'm afraid, because both of them extrude claws that drip darkness from their fingers and leap in to attack you. And I think we'll leave it there.
Wait, what? It's a double. It's a double tap of one of two shot. What?
Oh no! We'll have the other two back next week, and they can just sit quietly
okay.
while you deal with this.
They'll roll for our doppelgangers.
That's a really cool idea, actually. Yeah, they will.
True.
Yeah, I love that idea. That'll keep them involved. Right. So yes, we will do that. And
This is the worst because I'm really good in combat. I'm really good at being loud in combat.
so's he.
Yeah.
So's this shadowy form of you. Yeah.
I can't be loud.
Not for long. Yeah, you've probably got a couple of turns before they get in. If you do want to make some noise, before
I
the
did
guards
put
come.
a latch on.
Yeah. You did
Yeah,
lock
that's
the door.
why I think.
And but yeah. So yeah, we will leave it there. That was excellent, guys. Thank you so much. That was very fun. Bushwhackers. You just got bushed. So, guys, we should talk about our favorite moments now, I think. I'm going to change the music out a little bit. And, thank you guys so much for joining me, chat. Thank you very much for coming. I hope you enjoyed tonight's show. I've had a great time. And some really stellar RP in there as well. Finding favorite moments will not be difficult. Fighting over them will be. Yeah, guys, who would like to go first for favorite moments? This is something we like to do at the end of our streams. We borrowed it from the dreaded GM, where we basically tell each other how great we are, because it's difficult being a creative.
I have no shame, so I'll grab the most obvious one.
Okay.
Ereq idea of building a shrine to like the spirit of the tree. That was
Yeah.
amazing, and like the idea of including like something for everyone. That was so cool. I really loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked Ereq sounding out Gabrielle. And figuring out that one. I have another as well. It's a subtle one, so I don't think it'll get covered, so I'll say it now. I really liked his reaction when I was like, oh, it's your great-grandmother, at the painting on the wall. I thought that was fun. I enjoyed that one, yeah. Really good reaction there. Yeah. Favorite self moment, Ereq?
Well, I just wanted to talk about Gabrielle, who alerted she was just asking so many questions. I'm mega sus, but I chose not to roll insight because
She's a very inquisitive person. Like, she's an inventor. She asks questions.
I tried to win her over by saying, hey, if you don't betray me, then you tinker on this elemental thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was an interesting one. My favorite moment for myself was, I like how smoothly our heist went. That's kind of more of a group moment.
So far.
But, yeah, up until
Just gotten to the hard bit.
Yeah. But bringing up Arthur and all that stuff around Arthur, that stuff that I've been sitting on since the end of season 1. Where it was a call that I made to Josh to be like, hey, I need to talk to you. So I think that like Ereq might have a thing for Arthur, and that didn't end up eventuating for obvious reasons, but it has definitely shaped the person that Ereq has become since Arthur left.
Yeah.
It really informs a lot of what happened and his reaction to how everything went.
Yeah.
I
was surprised you went that far and actually sort of that he actually said, I loved him. I was like...
Yeah, like you were very honest.
Yeah. That was very powerful. The L word is a big word to drop. So yeah, that was very cool. Much wow. Cool.
It was, narratively, I think, given what they had just done together,
Oh yeah.
and
it was almost a
that
post-coital
Julio was really,
reveal.
It really was.
It had that sort of pillow talk vibe to it, in a completely friend-based, non-sexual way. I also think Julio was the right person to say it to, because Julio had not quite as deep, but a similar relationship with Arthur. They were friends. They got each other, I think, quite well. And I think the whole point was that Ereq felt gotten by Arthur. And it's just a shame that it was almost like, I thought it was, really cool, really lovely moment. And it needs very neatly onto favorite Daria moments, so we'll do them now. And chat, if you have favorite moments your own self. Do we have any? I don't actually. No, I don't want that.
Yeah, Bishop Blood said making all the furniture inclusive.
Furniture inclusive, yes, Bishop Blood. Agreed. That was really, really cute. Really sweet. My favorite Daria moment was, I'm going to leave the obvious one because I really liked Daria's additions to what Brendan had done in that scene. In fact, it was one piece of description in particular about the way Julio would interact with it, about feeling just humbled by how Ereq was doing it, what he was doing, why he was doing it, and just sort of like, holy shit, this guy is very powerful magic. This is nuts. So far above me. I thought I could help, but I can't. That was so sweet and gave a very much a clue to who Julio is and how he views himself. And for all of this bluster, he is aware of his limitations at the very least. I actually think he's got quite a low self-esteem.
Oh yeah. I modeled him from myself.
Crippling anxiety. And yes, he's a millennial.
But incredibly good looking.
But very attractive, yeah.
Thank you.
Nice melons.
Cantaloupes.
That was my favorite Dario moment. There was a lot, but the thing I liked about it the most was that I was about to add the Tai Chi detail, and then I was like, ooh, I really like that idea, but I don't think it's appropriate anymore. And then the way the scene evolved, I felt it was again, and I was just like, it was so cool. It was a very, very cool descriptive piece of RP as well. Good job. Brendan?
I mean, I've got to name it. The out of the blue tears and the cry of how could they hurt the tree. Really surprised Brendan, and it surprised Ereq.
Surprised Josh.
That Julio was that in tune. And I think that moment kind of signified the beginning of their closeness and their bonding through the rest of the episode. I really... And this is what I had hoped would happen anyway, but it really felt like, for two people who have been a little combative with each other through their journey so far, they, both as characters and Dara and myself, have felt like we've really been on the same page. Not that I was saying that Dara and I have been combative, but
it's playful, but it's definitely there.
She's like, it's like, I get scared sometimes.
She's a fucking nightmare.
You
But
take that right back.
8.2.
But no, it really felt like Daria and Brendan and Ereq and Julio were on the same page and smooth operators.
It's something I've really enjoyed about both of these episodes as well, because Dan and Karen, very much similar vibes last week. They're very different characters with a very different sort of vibe to them, but yes, they had a similar level of just like, it's really cool, like hot housing the two people just for RP. It's why we're having a guest for Mano a Mano, because I was like, I really enjoyed this dynamic of a DM with two players. I really enjoy the Mano a Mano dynamic. It works very well for Karen and I because we do collaborate a lot as storytellers and as performers. But yeah, we're really excited to have a third in just to see how that goes. So yeah, Omega Nerd. Yes, Daria, favorite self moment?
I mean, I did not expect for Julio, because okay, we talked about gods before, right? And you at one point asked like, hey, like, does Julio believe in anything? And Julio, and I was like, he's not really a religious sort. Like, he would like appreciate Gaspar, I suppose, but like not really going in that field. And like this situation with the tree and how like, I think the thing about Julio is that he's like a very practical, physical person.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's in the presence of this magic and he can feel it, he can see it, I feel that that's like his gateway to try and like understand the spiritual part of life. So I think he would actually like take the tree, you know, kind of deity to heart. He would actually like come back to this in his thoughts later. So I really enjoyed exploring the sudden like window to spirituality for Julio. And of course, I mean, I told you I can cry on command. Gotta bust that out at some point. I think that was appropriate.
I really love it for my own meta reasons as well, that this could be the founding of a new religion. And it's so appropriate that Ereq did it, because he's all about elementals.
Yep.
And the tree is one.
Yeah, which I'm not sure if Ereq is... Ereq probably has suspicions about that. Particularly after the revelation of Kesha's primeval awareness.
Yeah.
But what I also liked about it was that Ereq got to demonstrate his true beliefs, regardless of how he's kind of expressed himself, that he is all about inclusivity and...
you go back to it, it's covered in tar. Yeah. or several layers below. Yeah. Absolutely, I agree. Cool beans. Awesome.
Okay, my favorite DM moment was...
Sure. Yeah. Why do you jump in there so quickly? That's like, obviously we're going to do that.
We have no reason to do it.
Yeah, no. It's like you don't even trust me.
I mean, there was a funny line of Wilcram of talking about. I mean, that conversation with Julio was very nice.
That was cool.
But the thing of the red flag. Oh well, actually, the first red flag was getting
locking us.
Yeah. He was so funny.
But I mean, as always, your responses to our off-the-cuff improv shit is great, and your response to us revitalizing this chapel and making us saying we feel welcome forever, while worded slightly ominously, was very heartwarming.
Gotta put that in somewhere. Yeah.
For me, I really, this is such a stupid moment, but you making the button to open the door is in the
desk.
We just welded shut. It's so stupid. I loved it so much.
I wouldn't have done it if you'd gotten a higher investigation check. If you'd gotten over 15, I was like, yeah, you find it. In you go. Find my horrible ghosts. But no, I was just like, no, I'm putting that in the desk. Now
it's just so funny because like we're being like so cautious, like we're doing everything right, and then we're like, oops. It's so stupid. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed that conversation with welcome yes, Crum, yeah. And I enjoyed how like down to earth he was, but also like he gave some very interesting information for us. So it was both like an interesting character moment and also like pretty interesting like stuff for us to think about for the plot. Yeah. Also, I have a favorite chat moment: the invention of tartan. I love that.
Yeah. And we've got a favorite Julio as well, yoiking all that cash. Get wrecked, government, from Bishop Blood. Agreed. Yes. My favorite self moment was definitely the facilitation of the chapel scene. Although I would say I think my map making has gotten better, because this one I made myself, and it's pretty. yeah, I'm quite happy with that one. Dungeon Fog is where I make my maps, and I will put that one up in the Discord after the show. But yeah, no, I've
can
gotten
I just
better at
say
it.
the flowers, the flowers as light sources? That's a cool idea. That's neat.
Yeah, like that one. Yeah, that was an accident because I made the map and then I described the place afterwards. And I actually would endorse it for DMs out there. I made the map and played around with it, and in doing so, fleshed out a lot of the space as I did it. And I was like, oh, I could put that in there. Ooh, and yeah, a bunch of ideas that I hadn't occurred to me before. And the flowers obviously were a red herring, but it was fun. And just sort of like, oh, is that something to worry about? Yeah, and I'm so glad. I really liked, thinking back actually, I really liked Brendan asking the tree, how do I do this? And so yeah, I think the map is not a very good favorite self moment, but I think I did a really good job of it. But my favorite self moment was Gabby's backstory, like Gabby's family history. When asked, I was like, fuck.
Right.
What would be a good surname for her?
Straight from the top of the dome, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, no, I know where to place her in this world. I know, I like to give the characters a bit more backstory to it. So yeah, all of that. She's second generation import from outside of the wood. Came in with a bunch of Scandi accented immigrants, but didn't pick up the accent or didn't inherit it from her. It would be her mother, Astrid. Her father, however, would be a local. So yeah, I quite like that. I love being forced to make up bullshit on the fly. It's always my favorite moment. Is making up the rubbish. So yeah. And yeah, the artwork in Beta's room, I hadn't written down what that was either. So it was like, yeah, there's a bunch of, actually, there'd be a shadow mold on the wall in there. That's funny. Yeah. So those are my favorite meme moments. Thank you very much, guys.
I've got to say, I am looking forward to getting to know more about Gabrielle.
Yeah.
When she definitely doesn't betray us.
Yeah, when she definitely doesn't betray you. The lovely art that you
like
and only you made with no assistance.
Gabriella seems interesting when she's not like in, oh my gosh, it's Ereq mode. Like she actually becomes an interesting person as soon as she's like stops spawning over him.
If for those interested in using it, Creative Fabrica Spark is the thing I'm using to make the artwork. creativefabrica.com/spark, CF Spark, and it's free to muck around with. It takes a little while, but yeah, it generates 4 versions of, you write down a written prompt, and the AI throws some stuff together and see what sticks. And yeah, it's Soteris introduced me to it, and I was like, this is neat. I actually don't mind this. Like, as I say, I wouldn't go to it over a professional character artist, because it doesn't give you exactly what you want. It's very hard to make it do complex, but basic ballpark stuff, it's really handy for, like, if I was to have a one-shot and I wanted to have artwork for them. It's copyright free, so I will be using it for that. It's a neat thing to possess, a good skill to your bow. Well, guys, we should go away from here now because we've been streaming for a good old while. But thank you so much for joining us. Also, that damn Nils, yeah, that was fun. I love, like, you think you got a handle on the guy, and oop, maybe not, oop, maybe, oop. There's so much going on here. So yeah, we will go away from here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We will find someone to raid, but before we do, Brendan, who the absolute heck are you?
I am heckin' Brendan Ellis. I am an actor and director here in Perth, and a lover of good times.
Valid. And Daria, who the absolute heck are you?
My name is Daria. I'm an artist, and I also play here and on the Eldritch Scribe Twitch channel on Mondays. By the way, they're streaming right now.
We'll go and raid them. Don't worry. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. I'd noticed that. Yep.
I'm a winking. Yeah, but yeah, that's.
Alrighty. And Madame and Monsieur, Dama unter Herren and beings of indeterminate gender and persuasion, I be Josh the Pirate. You can find me here on my channel, Corsair's Cove, where I run D&D, often as the DM, and I was actually pondering it during Favourite Moments. I think I am a better DM than a player. I think I'm actually better at DMing than playing. I get a lot more practice at it, but yeah, like listening to you guys talk about your thought process as in the character's headspace, I think I am a lot more instinctive than a lot of people. And so I tend to play characters quite like me because that's the safest thing to do. And I think I'm actually better at playing loads of characters who are quite shallow than one character who is very deep. I have many voices in my head, and it's easier to get them all out simultaneously than just to focus on one. So that's, just an interesting thought about me. So yeah, I run a lot of D&D here on my channel, The Corsair's Cove, which I run with my lovely lady wife, the mother of bunnies. You can find us back here on Monday for Mano a Mano, where Karen and I will be playing 1v1 D&D, finishing up some negotiations with the lizard folk, and particularly the Coelinth, who are a race of aquatic goblinoids that Beryl Ingotsfury has to convince to ally against the Shahagan. Fun. And then we'll be back Tuesday night. I will be back for Tactics Tuesday. I have promised Natoan that I will play Into the Breach, and we will do the... he wants to play with the team of mechs that are... He describes it as 4D chess. And I'm like, fine, let's do that. So that will be Tuesday. And then we're back next Thursday for the whole Humblewood crew, back with more monsters and magic. The Dan shot, what about a Josh shot? We've tried. I tried to get a Josh shot together, Bishop Blood. It's remarkably difficult to get all of the Joshes in one place at one time. I tried. I almost had 4 of us, but 2 of them had to bug out. And Josh was sick Josh was sick. Of course he was. Dredd was sick at the last moment, sadly. So yeah, I'm on it. It's just hard. We're all very busy people, Josh is. Guys, we should go away from here. We have all the socials. We have a Discord. And this episode, when I edit it, will be up on the YouTube for anybody who missed bits of it, parts of it, all of it. They usually come up within a couple days. Josh is getting real fast at it now. Pretty quick. Setting up 6 different cameras is tough. Yeah, there is that, just all pointed at me. We are affiliated with Wooden Forge. This is a beautiful Wooden Forge dice tray. They donate to prizes whenever we do giveaways and things like that. They're bloody legends, and if you head on over to woodenforge.com/Corsair's Cove, you can check out their amazing stuff. And if you purchase anything, we get a sneaky little kickback. So you can support an Australian business and an Australian Twitch channel simultaneously. And if you're interested in supporting other shit, Brendan, tell me about Ukraine. Look, we all know what's happening in the Ukraine. There's a Russian invasion. It's real shitty for everyone involved. So if you have a little bit of spare money, there's some donation links in the chat. Donations go to the Ukrainian people to help them out. So anything that you can spare is very much appreciated. And over in our Discord, we also have the link to the Curious Compendium of Slavic Myth, which is an excellent thing as well. I don't have the access to it right now, but I need to put it up. Also, Madroxis, thank you very much for the follow if you are still around. I missed that one. Thank you very much. It was a couple of hours ago, but good on you, bloody champion. Avast and such. I do want to say about the Slavic monster thing, those are real cool if you're, for existing DMs, but particularly if you're someone who's interested in DMing, it's real cheap and it's a good start to get like a whole bunch of content. And you could try out DMing by just like running 1 or 2 of those monsters. There is a one shot in the thing as well, so you don't even have to write anything. It is you tell your players to go on D&D Beyond, where you can for free build a basic bitch character. So you can do the entire thing for $1. And I've just found the link. Here it is. I will put it up because it's a really cool little book. And my favorite thing about it is the map of Ukraine done in the style of J.R.R. Tolkien. It's really pretty in that. But yeah, it's got a little adventure in there as well. So if you're wanting to try out D&D and DMing for the first time, it's as Brendan says, it's a solid way to start. And making a donation to charity at the same time. They have sold 313 copies of it so far. So you would be one of very few people who's got this thing. But they've raised over $1,300, which is pretty cool. For the sale of I think it's about 40 pages long, so it's a fairly chunky little PDF that you'd be getting. And some gorgeous artwork in it. And if you ever played The Witcher, you might recognize some of the monsters. Well, guys, we need to go away from here now. I think we've said all the things. Our music is by Sirenscape. They're great. We love them. Yeah, I think that's it. So we shall bugger off. So we need to go and raid, and I think we shall raid, as Daria has suggested, the Eldritch Scribe. Des and Raph are doing some world building, I imagine. Is that about right, Daria? Okay.
Yes,
Splendid.
sir.
Well, we will go away and raid them now, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Show Des and Raph all the love. Throw your favorite raid emotes up in chat. Tell them where you came from, and we will see you next time here on Corsair's Cove. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. Say goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.